Chapter 649. Following the orders, the heavenly court began to operate. Murong Yu's figure flashed and entered the Hichu Luoshu. Murong. Holy Master, I'm sorry. Seeing Murong Yu walk over, Mu Tong hurriedly apologized. Even now, she still couldn't forgive herself. Let's forget about this matter. Even if you didn't come, Mu Lin would have found out sooner or later. Let's forget about it. Murong Yu squeezed out a smile. Mu Tong, don't blame yourself. This matter was bound to happen. Mu Liua smiled and said nonchalantly. It's just that if it wasn't for me, the Mu clan wouldn't have come knocking on our door. Mu Tong still blamed herself. Seeing Mu Tong like this, Murong Yu was speechless. However, he couldn't be bothered to say anything. After a while, Mu Tong would calm down. Little man, what should we do? Mu Liua looked at Murong Yu worriedly. Before Murong Yu could speak, she continued, how about this? When the time comes, you can just hand me over. This way, at least you won't be implicated. Murong Yu's eyes widened and said unhappily, You're my woman. How can I hand you over? I have my ways to solve this matter. Don't worry, everything will be fine. But Mu Lin is an immortal supremacy expert. What can you do? You're no match for him. Mu Liua still looked worried. Neither Murong Yu nor the Heavenly Court had the ability to go against Mu Lin. If Murong Yu didn't hand over Mu Liua, he would be killed by Mu Lin in the end. If Murong Yu and the Heavenly Court were to be safe, the only way was to hand over Mu Liua. This was Mu Liua's idea. However, Murong Yu couldn't hand over Mu Liua. If he did, Murong Yu wouldn't be Murong Yu anymore. Of course, Murong Yu couldn't watch the Heavenly Court get into trouble. Therefore, in order to protect himself, he could only kill Mu Lin. I have my ways. We'll be fine. However, do you know how long Mu Lin has left? Murong Yu asked in a deep voice. Lifespan? Mu Lin didn't have much time left. It was said that he was close to the end of his lifespan. That's why he's in such a hurry to break through, Mu Liua said with a slight frown. Immortal venerables had a lifespan of 1 epoch, which was 1 trillion years. For an immortal venerable, having only a few billion years of lifespan was already considered approaching the end of their lifespan. After all, their cultivation had already reached the pinnacle. If they couldn't break through to godhood after nearly an era, then they wouldn't be able to do much in the remaining tens of billions of years. Mu Liua pondered for a moment before saying, Mu Lin's lifespan should be within 50 billion, or even less. Then she looked at Murong Yu and asked, Little man, why do you ask? What are you doing? Of course, I want him to die, Murong Yu said with a cold smile. 50 billion years of lifespan. Immortal King Realm experts have a lifespan of 300 billion years. Back in the Immortal Land, many immortal kings were killed by the power of time. Their lifespan should be quite long as well. If I can lure Mu Lin into the Immortal Land, I can definitely kill him. However, how can I lure Mu Lin into the Immortal Land? Murong Yu pondered in his heart. Mu Liua's eyes flashed. She looked at Murong Yu with joy and said, Little man, do you have a way to kill Mu Lin? Murong Yu shook his head and said, Mu Lin is an immortal venerable expert. Even if he stands there and lets me kill him, I probably won't be able to kill him. However, time is the most powerful killer. Doesn't Mu Lin need more lifespan? I'll think of a way to exhaust his lifespan. How can you exhaust a few billion years of lifespan? If he gets close to you, I'm afraid he will kill you directly. Mu Liua said with a frown. The Immortal Land. Murong Yu smiled faintly. The Immortal Land? Mu Liua was shocked. She looked at Murong Yu with a nervous expression and said, Little man, the Immortal Land is one of the most dangerous places in the immortal world. Even if you kill Mu Lin there, you will be in danger. No, you definitely can't do that. Don't worry, I've already entered the Immortal Land once. Aren't I standing in front of you now? If I'm not confident, I won't do it. I won't put myself in a desperate situation. Murong Yu said with a faint smile. You're really confident? Murong Yu nodded. Are you sure? Murong Yu sat in the main hall of the heavenly court and shook his head with a wry smile. Where did his confidence come from? If the opponent was an immortal emperor, Murong Yu was confident that he could kill him. However, the opponent was an immortal sovereign. I have to think of a way to lure Mu Lin into the immortal land. With a flash, Murong Yu entered the heavenly punishment order. Steward Tian, are there any items that can increase one's strength and lifespan? Murong Yu asked directly. There are definitely some, but they are very expensive, especially those that can increase one's lifespan. They require at least a few billion star points to exchange. Moreover, the effects aren't very good. Steward Tian said in a deep voice. Murong Yu nodded. He only had 300,000 star points right now. He couldn't afford it at all. Young master, you want to use these items to deal with Mu Lin? Both Steward Tian and Hichu knew about Murong Yu's matters. Murong Yu nodded and said, If it's just Liyue alone, I'm afraid it'll be difficult to lure Mu Lin into the immortal land. However, if the immortal land has items that can allow one to break through and increase one's lifespan, then I'm afraid Mu Lin won't be able to resist entering. Young master, have you forgotten about the Black Lotus? Rumor has it that the Black Lotus seed can bring a person back from the dead. One Black Lotus seed is one life. Steward Tian reminded Murong Yu. Murong Yu's eyes emitted a resplendent divine light. He had forgotten about the Black Lotus. According to the legends, the Black Lotus seed could bring a person back from the dead. Although it couldn't revive a person who had exhausted their lifespan, if Mu Lin had these 9 Black Lotus seeds, then he could enter some extremely dangerous forbidden areas in the immortal world. These forbidden areas could be ruins or caverns left behind from the ancient times. In these places, one could obtain powerful merit laws that could increase one's chances of becoming a god. To Mu Lin and in fact, to everyone else, this was a great temptation. If Mu Lin knew about this, then he might enter the immortal land. Haha, Steward Tian, good job. Thank you. Murong Yu laughed and disappeared from the heavenly punishment order. Black Lotus, there shouldn't be any problems with this, right? Murong Yu told Black Lotus about his plan and asked. No problem. Black Lotus's weak, spiritual waves were transmitted, making Murong Yu overjoyed. 3 months later, Black Tiger's information finally came. 40 billion lifespan? Murong Yu's eyes flashed coldly after reading the information in his hands. Mu Lin's lifespan was shorter than Mu Liyue's guess. If he really entered the immortal land, he would definitely not come out alive. It's time to make another trip to the immortal land. After returning to the Hichu Luoshu world, Murong Yu transferred Mu Liyue and Mu Tong to the heavenly punishment world. Although the Hichu Luoshu world was extremely powerful, it was still affected by time in the outside world. However, the rules of time could not affect the time in the heavenly punishment order. In other words, even if Murong Yu entered the immortal land, those extremely terrifying places, the terrifying flow of time would not affect the time in the heavenly punishment world. The time in the heavenly punishment world would still flow at a normal speed. Murong Yu set up a few space shields around himself. In the end, he felt that it was not very safe, so he let Black Lotus set up another space shield. After that, Murong Yu directly teleported to the peak of the immortal land. In front of him was a long canyon. Murong Yu had obtained the heavenly punishment order from this canyon. At the same time, the flow of time in this canyon was extremely terrifying. If Mu Lin went deep into this canyon, he would definitely die. Because of the space shield, the flow of time outside did not affect Murong Yu. Therefore, he took large strides and directly went deep into the canyon. There was a small lake in the depths of the canyon. The lake was not big, but it was normal if there was a black lotus growing here. Black Lotus, come out. Murong Yu shouted in his heart. Then, a black light shot out from Murong Yu's body and disappeared into the lake. Not long after, a black lotus grew out of the lake out of thin air. The black lotus emitted a faint fragrance. Inside the lotus pod, 9 black lotus seeds were faintly discernible. A black lotus with matured black lotus seeds. If this news were to spread, I'm afraid it would cause the entire immortal world to go crazy. Murong-yu sneered in his heart. At the same time, he took out a jade slip and sealed the scene in front of him. After confirming that there were no flaws in the jade slip, Murong-yu let Black Lotus return to his body. Then, Murong-yu's figure flashed and returned to the heavenly court through Hichu Luoshu's teleportation. After adding some more information to the jade slip, Murong-yu called Black Tiger again. Black Tiger, give this jade slip to Mu Lin of the Mu clan as soon as possible. You must give it to Mu Lin, Murong-yu said in a low voice. Yes, Holy Lord. I'll immediately send someone to Green Rock City. Black Tiger respectfully retreated. On the other hand, Murong-yu was sitting in the main hall, sneering. Mu Lin, I didn't find trouble with you, but you sent yourself to me. You're courting death. Murong-yu's murderous intent surged. If Mu Lin did not find him, Murong-yu's strength was not enough to find trouble with Mu Lin. But now, he was forcing Murong-yu to kill him. Of course, it was still unknown whether Murong-yu could kill Mu Lin, a celestial supremacy. However, Murong-yu believed that Mu Lin would be tempted after seeing the information in the jade slip. As long as Mu Lin was tempted, it would be easy to deal with him. Then, his death would not be far away. Chapter 650. Qinyan City, Mu Family. Mu Lin frowned as he looked at the jade slip in his hand. He sneered in his heart. Murong-yu, that little ant, finally gave in and sent a message? The jade slip in Mu Lin's hand was the one sent by Murong-yu. It had been half a year since Mu Lin's divine thought had reached the heavenly court. In Mu Lin's heart, half a year was still too long. However, it was within his expectations. After all, he was an immortal venerable expert. Although Murong-yu had killed his doppelganger, he did not dare to confront him. This was because Murong-yu was not qualified to do so. You're just an ant. How dare you kill my doppelganger? Once I get Mu Liue, you and the heavenly court will no longer exist in this world. Mu Lin sneered as killing intent flashed between his eyebrows. Although Mu Lin was an immortal venerable expert, he had always been brooding over the fact that Murong-yu had killed his doppelganger. As long as he got Mu Liue, Murong-yu would only die. Let's see what this laughing ant has to say. Mu Lin's heart skipped a beat. His divine thought immediately entered the jade slip. There was a powerful restriction in the jade slip. However, these restrictions could not stop Mu Lin, who was an immortal venerable. Mu Lin's divine thought only paused for a moment before it went straight into the jade slip. This is Black Lotus? When Mu Lin's divine thought entered the jade slip, his face was immediately filled with shock. This was because he saw a black lotus in the jade slip. On top of the black lotus, 9 ripe lotus seeds were faintly revealed, exuding a fragrance. Old man Mu Lin, are you surprised to see these black lotuses? Are you shocked and in disbelief? Just as Mu Lin was in shock, Murong-yu's figure appeared in the jade slip. Mu Lin coldly snorted. He was so shocked by the black lotus that he automatically ignored Murong-yu's disrespectful words. At this moment, he was staring at Black Lotus with a shocked expression. Although it was just an illusion, Mu Lin knew that this Black Lotus was most likely real. This was because even though it was only an illusion, the Black Lotus grew in a different way. There was even a mysterious aura coming from the Black Lotus. This was inevitable, because this phantom really existed, and was not made up by Murong-yu. There has always been a legend between heaven and earth. Legend had it that the 9 sons of the Black Lotus had the effect of resurrection. However, the Black Lotus only existed in legend. Although I don't know if this Black Lotus seed has such a heaven-defying effect. However, even if the Black Lotus seed can't revive him, it should be able to increase his cultivation and extend his lifespan. Old geezer Mu Lin, this Black Lotus really exists. With my current strength, it's impossible for me to obtain him. Originally, I just wanted to wait until I had enough strength to get my hands on him. But you shameless thing, you actually captured my woman and used her as your cultivation vessel. At this point, Murong Yu's phantom in the jade slip became angry. I can't wait to kill you. Unfortunately, I'm not strong enough, but I don't want to lose my woman. I have no choice but to tell you about this Black Lotus. Old geezer, if you agree, I'm willing to use this Black Lotus in exchange for Li Yu's freedom. I'll take you to find this Black Lotus. You can have 5 of the 9 Black Lotus seeds, and I want 4. If you agree, come to Feng City to see me as soon as possible. However, old geezer, you have to remember, don't try to capture me and read my memory. I've already placed a restriction on the memory of the Black Lotus and Li Yu. If someone forcibly reads this memory, my entire memory will be forcibly erased. Before he could finish his sentence, Murong Yu's phantom image had already disappeared. Black Lotus, it's actually the legendary Black Lotus. Although Murong Yu's phantom had disappeared, Mu Lin's divine thought did not withdraw from the jade slip. However, at this time, his face was full of excitement. When he saw the Black Lotus, Mu Lin had a feeling that the Black Lotus should be real. Because if that mysterious aura was just fabricated by Murong Yu, it was impossible. If Murong Yu had not seen the real Black Lotus, it would be impossible for him to fabricate it. It would not be so real. After confirming that the Black Lotus was real, Mu Lin became more and more excited. As Murong Yu said, even if the Black Lotus seed did not have the effect of resurrection, it could increase the cultivation and extend the lifespan. This little ant is actually so lucky. He actually encountered the Black Lotus. However, all of this is to serve me. After half a day, Mu Lin's divine thought came out of the jade slip, and at the same time, the jade slip was crushed. His face was full of a sneer. The Black Lotus should not be fake. I'll go to Feng City immediately. Once I get the Black Lotus, the 9 Black Lotus seeds are all mine. At that time, I'll capture the little ant and force out Mu Liyue's whereabouts. At that time, I'll send the little ant on his way. Mu Lin's eyes flashed and he sneered. Previously, he did want to go to Feng City directly to capture Murong Yu and read his memory. However, after seeing Murong Yu, Mu Lin did not know if Murong Yu was telling the truth, but he did not dare to take the risk. Once Murong Yu's memory was erased, he would not be able to get the Black Lotus or Mu Liyue. I'll get the Black Lotus and Mu Liyue first. As for the little ant, I'll kill him when the time comes. Mu Lin sneered and disappeared in a flash. Feng City, Heavenly Court Hall. Murong Yu sat alone in the hall. Suddenly, the void in the hall rippled, and then a gray-robed old man appeared in front of Murong Yu. Seeing the old man, Murong Yu did not show any surprise. He looked at the old man and said faintly, "Old ghost Mu Lin, you're here?" The old man was immortal venerable Mu Lin, the old ancestor of the Mu family. Murong Yu, is this how you treat an immortal venerable expert? As the leader of a big force, is this all you have? Mu Lin's eyes flashed with a cold light. He was very unhappy with Murong Yu's attitude. Murong Yu sneered, "If it were someone else, I, Murong Yu, would be very respectful. But you? You're not worthy. You're not qualified. Old ghost, don't be angry. Don't try to use your status as an immortal venerable to suppress me. I won't fall for it. If you still want to get the Black Lotus seed, you'd better behave yourself." Mu Lin's eyes flashed with cold light, but he was furious. He was an immortal venerable expert, but Murong Yu, an ant, did not show any respect to him. He really wanted to slap Murong Yu to death. However, he would not do it now. "Little bastard, once I get the Black Lotus seed and Mu Liyue, you'll definitely die," Mu Lin said with killing intent in his heart. "Boy, where is the Black Lotus?" Mu Lin suppressed the killing intent in his heart and asked in a deep voice. "Naturally, it's where it should be." Murong Yu looked at Mu Lin and smiled faintly. Old ghost, you came to Feng City. Have you agreed to my conditions? Let Mu Liue go, and I want 4 black lotus seeds. 1, 8 for me, 1 for you, Mu Lin said with a gloomy face. Murong Yu was furious. 4. 1 less, and you'll die in the Mu family. Mu Lin's eyebrows flashed with a cold light. Murong Yu, don't go too far. I agree to let Mu Liue go. It's not too much for me to get 8 black lotus seeds. Moreover, that place must be very dangerous. You're just taking me there. I'm already taking advantage of you by giving you one. Murong Yu sneered in his heart. How could he not know what Mu Lin was planning? However, he had to act until the end. He still had to fight for these so-called black lotus seed. 4, Murong Yu said while gnashing his teeth. 2, at most 2. Mu Lin was secretly happy. The more intense Murong Yu's fight was, the more real the black lotus seed was. Old ghost Mu Lin, you'd better go back to the Mu family. I've changed my mind and won't go. Anyway, I have plenty of time. I'll get the black lotus seeds when I'm strong enough. At that time, all 9 will be mine, Murong Yu said with a cold smile. 3, Mu Lin said in a deep voice. However, he sneered in his heart, kid, even if I agree to your conditions now, you won't get a single one when the time comes. All the black lotus seeds will be mine. However, although Mu Lin said this, he was worried that Murong Yu would really not go. If Murong Yu really didn't go, then he wouldn't get anything. 4. I want 4. I definitely won't go if it's less than 4. Don't even think about taking me down and reading my memories. If you doubt me, you can give it a try now. At most, one of us will die. It's not bad to drag an immortal venerable down with me, Mu Lin muttered to himself. After a long time, he said in a deep voice, 4 it is. However, kid, don't try anything funny. Otherwise, I won't mind slapping you to death. Old ghost, don't worry. I don't want to die. You stay here for a while. I still have to prepare. Murong Yu had already left the hall when he spoke. In the long and narrow canyon at the peak of the immortal domain, Murong Yu's figure appeared next to the small lake out of thin air. Black Lotus, you stay here first. When the time comes, help me kill that old bastard Mu Lin, Murong Yu ordered. Then, he disappeared and returned to the heavenly court. Murong Yu naturally wouldn't worry about leaving Black Lotus there. In the immortal domain, there was almost no one who could resist the horrifying flow of time in the canyon and reach the small lake. Old ghost, let's go. Murong Yu walked into the hall again and said in a deep voice. Mu Lin just snorted. Then, he left Feng City with Murong Yu and flew toward Qinghe Province. Chapter 651. Kid, why did you come to Qinghe Prefecture? Don't tell me that Black Lotus is in the Wonderland. 2 figures appeared in Qinghe City. One of them, a gray-robed elder, said to a black-robed youth with a gloomy face. The black-robed youth who was called Kid was Murong Yu. The gray-robed elder was the ancestor of the Mu clan, Mu Lin. Murong Yu looked at Mu Lin with a disdainful smile and said faintly, Black Lotus is in the Wonderland. Old man, if you are afraid, you can go back. Mu Lin's face became gloomier and the killing intent in his heart became stronger. Along the way, he had asked several times, but Murong Yu didn't answer him at all. Now, when he heard that Black Lotus was in the Wonderland, his heart couldn't help but sink. His first thought was that Murong Yu wanted to use the special environment of the Wonderland to kill him. The flow of time in the Wonderland was very terrifying. In some terrifying places, even the lifespan of an immortal venerable could be exhausted in an instant. If he was brought into these terrifying places by Murong Yu, he would definitely die. Sensing that Mu Lin was looking at him with a dangerous gaze, Murong Yu couldn't help but sneer, Old man, you are an immortal venerable expert. If you are afraid of death, you can go back now. I won't laugh at you. Of course, if you suspect that I want to kill you in the Wonderland, this is also normal. If I have the chance, I will definitely kill you. Hearing this, Mu Lin was shocked. A terrifying killing intent immediately burst out and swept towards Murong. But soon, he withdrew the endless killing intent. Kid, you are just a 9 heavens Xian immortal and you want to kill me? You think too highly of yourself. A 9 heavens Xian immortal was incomparable to an immortal venerable in terms of strength and lifespan. Of course, lifespan was Mu Lin's shortcoming now. 40 billion lifespan. If Murong really wanted to kill him, even if Murong's lifespan was several times longer, he would still die. Mu Lin believed that with his strength, even if Murong wanted to kill him, Murong would not be able to escape. If he, an immortal sovereign, was killed by a 9 heaven Xian immortal, he would commit suicide even if he didn't die. Murong looked at Mu Lin coldly, but he was sneering in his heart. Of course, he had said that on purpose. If he had been very calm and had no intention of killing Mu Lin, it would have been more abnormal. Mu Lin might have noticed his conspiracy. Now, he deliberately said this to show some killing intent to Mu Lin. Naturally, Mu Lin would not be so suspicious. Murong, the immortal realm is extremely terrifying. If the Black Lotus is in the immortal realm, how did you know? With your strength, can you go deep into the immortal land? Mu Lin asked in a low voice. He was not worried that his words would be heard by the people next to him, because there was a soundproof restriction around them. Even if they were immortal sovereigns, it would be impossible for them to hear their words through the soundproof restriction. Moreover, how could there be any immortal sovereigns in the Clear River City? I knew you wouldn't believe me, so I came to the Clear River City. Murong looked at Mu Lin and sneered. I'm not the only one who knows about the Black Lotus. Hearing this, Mu Lin was shocked. If there were other people who knew about the Black Lotus, then the terrifying Black Lotus was no longer there. Kid, who else knows about the Black Lotus? If the Black Lotus is no longer there, you're dead. Mu Lin looked at Murong with a gloomy face, and his killing intent filled the air. Don't worry, the Black Lotus is definitely there. That place is very secretive, and I believe no one else knows about it except for me. If you don't believe that the Black Lotus is in the Immortal Land, you can ask the people of the Clearstream sect, the Strength sect, and the White Profound sect. They also know about the Black Lotus. Mu Lin's face darkened. Kid, they really know about the Black Lotus, but they don't know the exact location of the Black Lotus? Why don't you go ask? Murong sneered. Kid, wait for me here for a while. Don't leave the Clear River City before I come back. Otherwise, you and the Heavenly Court will be obliterated. Mu Lin glared at Murong coldly, and then disappeared in front of Murong. Murong sneered. With a flash of his body, he disappeared from where he stood. However, he did not leave the Clear River City. Instead, he went to a restaurant. Coming to the Clear River City to tell Mu Lin that the Clearstream sect knew about the Black Lotus was part of Murong's plan. Murong knew that if it was just him, Mu Lin would not believe it. However, if more people could prove the existence of the Black Lotus, Mu Lin would believe it even more. While Murong was leisurely drinking wine in the restaurant, a figure flashed beside him. Mu Lin's figure had appeared in front of Murong. Old man, do you want to eat something? Otherwise, you may never be able to come out after entering the Immortal Land. Murong waved the wine glass in his hand at Mu Lin and said with a smile. However, Mu Lin was gloomy at this moment. Regarding the matter of Black Lotus, he now completely believed it. In this half a day, he visited the Clearstream sect, the Strength sect, and the White Profound sect one by one. Under the threat of his absolute strength, the three sects had no choice but to share the news of the Black Lotus with him. However, the news of the three sects was too vague. They only knew that the Black Lotus was in the Immortal Land, but they did not know the exact location of the Black Lotus. Mu Lin even knew that many people from the three sects had died because of the Black Lotus. As a result, Mu Lin naturally believed in Murong. However, this result made him very unhappy because only Murong knew the exact location of the Black Lotus. No need, let's go, Mu Lin said in a low voice. Then, he disappeared in a flash. Old man, I wanted to give you a last supper. However, since you don't appreciate it and are in a hurry to die, then forget it. Morong Yu sneered. He threw down a handful of immortal spiritual pills and followed him. Soon, they arrived outside the immortal land. Originally, after knowing that their destination was the immortal land, Mu Lin had been walking in front of Morong Yu. However, when they arrived outside the immortal land, Mu Lin stopped. If you are afraid of death, then go back to the Mu family and wait for your death. Morong Yu sneered and walked into the immortal land without stopping. Mu Lin was indeed hesitating. Once again, he began to suspect Morong Yu. I don't think this kid can do anything. If he dares to play tricks, I'll be the first to kill him. Murderous intent flashed in Mu Lin's eyes. Then, he walked into the immortal land. Old man, don't give me a chance. Otherwise, I'll definitely kill you here. Morong Yu turned around and looked at Mu Lin with murderous intent. Murderous intent flashed in Mu Lin's eyes. Kid, you'll die when I get the black lotus seed. At the same time, Mu Lin's divine thought had locked onto Morong Yu. Morong Yu's expression changed slightly. He immediately mocked. Old man, what do you mean? I'm afraid of death, so you'd better not do anything. Otherwise, I'll kill you immediately. Mu Lin said lightly. Don't give me a chance. Morong Yu sneered. Then, he cast a space shield on his body. Although his space shield wasn't as strong as the black lotus seed, it could still offset the power of time in the immortal land. A glint flashed across Mu Lin's eyes when he saw this. Although he couldn't see anything, he sensed that Morong Yu wasn't affected by the flow of time. Of course, this was only temporary. As they went deeper and deeper, Morong Yu's space shield gradually lost its effect. After all, it hadn't been long since he comprehended the character formula. Kid, walk faster. Mu Lin impatiently urged Morong Yu from behind. Morong Yu had naturally slowed down ever since he entered the immortal realm. He dilly-dallied and advanced at an extremely slow speed. Old man, why don't you go first? Morong Yu turned to look at Mu Lin and sneered. Mu Lin fell silent. He had never been to the immortal land, but he knew how terrifying it was. If he walked straight, his speed would be fast. However, he might accidentally enter those terrifying places. At that time, he would probably lose his old life. Although Morong Yu's speed was slow, it was very safe, because in the process, Mu Lin and the others had passed through several terrifying places. Although these terrifying places weren't very scary, if they accidentally entered, they would consume a lot of their lifespan. Kid, can't you just walk straight along the road from before? Mu Lin saw Morong Yu dawdling and was very unhappy. If he had more lifespan, he naturally wouldn't have any objections. However, he didn't have much lifespan now. A little less lifespan meant a little less lifespan. My memory hasn't been very good recently. I've almost forgotten these roads. I'm sorry. Morong Yu sneered in his heart, but on the surface, he was a little embarrassed. Hearing this, Mu Lin was furious. He couldn't wait to slap Morong Yu to death. Although Morong Yu's strength wasn't high in his eyes, he was still considered an expert in the immortal land. How could a 9 heavens Xian immortal's memory be bad? No one would believe it even if he said it. Then take your time to remember. Try to walk faster. The sooner you get the Black Lotus, the faster we can leave this place. Then, you can reunite with Mu Liu sooner. Mu Lin suppressed the endless killing intent in his heart and said with a smile on his face, If you get the Black Lotus, it'll definitely be the time of my death. Morong Yu sneered in his heart, but on the surface he said, I'll try my best. However, what made Mu Lin furious was that Morong Yu didn't speed up. On the contrary, he became slower and slower. During this process, Morong Yu even brought him to some terrifying places where the flow of time wasn't too fast. This made Mu Lin very angry. Sometimes he really wanted to slap Morong Yu to death. However, for the sake of the Black Lotus and Mu Liu, he forced himself to suppress his killing intent. Chapter 652. 1 billion years. When Murong Yu and Mu Lin entered the deepest part of the immortal land, they had already spent 1 billion years at the foot of the mountain. After Murong Yu broke through to the Nine Heavens Xian immortal realm, his lifespan had increased to 800 billion years. Losing 1 billion years of time was not a loss to him at all. However, it was different for Mu Lin. As an immortal venerable, he had a lifespan of 1 trillion years, which was equivalent to one era. They did not care about 1 billion years. However, Mu Lin was only an immortal venerable who was nearing the end of his life. Mu Lin's lifespan would be shortened by 1 day if he had one less day, let alone 1 billion years. How many billion years of lifespan was 40 billion? It was only 40 years. This bastard is definitely doing this on purpose. Mu Lin gritted his teeth and his killing intent surged. If they had not entered some terrifying place where the flow of time was extremely fast, they would not have spent 1 billion years of lifespan. After I get the Black Lotus seed, I must kill this little bastard. Mu Lin's killing intent soared. He could not wait to slap Murong Yu to death. Murong Yu stopped in front of the mountain peak and looked at Mu Lin as he indifferently asked, "Old ghost, the flow of time on this mountain peak is already several 100,000 times faster than normal. If we're not careful and accidentally enter those terrifying places, the flow of time will be even more frightening. Should we continue?" "Let's go," Mu Lin said in a deep voice. Since they were already here, he had to go up. Otherwise, wouldn't the 1 billion years of lifespan be wasted? However, before we go up, I have to tell you that you'd better be careful and not accidentally enter those terrifying places again. Otherwise, if something happens to me, I can't guarantee your safety. Mu Lin looked at Murong Yu coldly and said in a deep voice, "Threat." It was a blatant threat. A cold light flashed in Murong Yu's eyes. Then, he sneered and said, "Old man, I can tell you that the Black Lotus is on one of the spots on the highest mountain. If you don't believe me, you can climb up yourself." Mu Lin glanced at the mountain with cold eyes. The peak wasn't very big. If this wasn't the immortal realm, he would have already gone up. However, this was an immortal realm. If he were to barge in alone, not only would he fail to obtain the Black Lotus seed, he might even die here. Also, old ghost, my memory hasn't been good recently. I've already forgotten the path we took. I don't want to stray into those scary places either. You probably think that only your lifespan is lifespan, right? That's 1 billion years of lifespan. Murong Yu's face was filled with pain as he spoke. "Keep pretending. Keep pretending." Mu Lin snorted coldly, but he was laughing coldly in his heart. Although he wasn't very clear about Murong Yu's information, he still had a rough idea. His cultivation speed was extremely fast. Not to mention 1 billion years of lifespan, even if he lost 100 billion years of lifespan, he would not feel the pinch. After all, as long as he broke through to the next realm, his lifespan would increase explosively. "Stop talking nonsense. Let's continue," Mu Lin said indifferently. Murong Yu snorted coldly and walked up with Mu Lin. Murong Yu was also much more careful here. Although he wanted to bring Mu Lin into the scary places, the scary places on the peak were not comparable to the scary places on the periphery. The terrifying place at the top of the mountain peak could take their lives in a few moments. Murong Yu did not dare to try too much. However, even so, when Murong Yu arrived at the peak of the peak, they had wasted hundreds of millions of years. Hundreds of millions of years of lifespan had passed just like that. Not only did his cultivation and strength not increase, but it was also constantly depleted. This made Mu Lin feel extremely pained. This brat is definitely doing it on purpose. He's definitely doing it on purpose. Mu Lin roared in his heart. His desire to kill Murong Yu grew stronger. The Black Lotus is in the canyon. Murong Yu finally brought Mu Lin to the narrow canyon. "Really?" Mu Lin asked in a deep voice. "It's true. Do you smell a faint fragrance?" "It's coming from the Black Lotus," Murong Yu said calmly. Mu Lin sniffed and indeed found a faint fragrance in the void. Since that's the case, brat, your life is coming to an end. Mu Lin laughed sinisterly in his heart as he prepared to kill Morongyu. Old man, I advise you not to do it. Otherwise, you'll never get the Black Lotus. Carefully sense that canyon. As if he knew that Mu Lin was about to make a move, Morongyu indifferently said before Mu Lin could do anything. Mu Lin was stunned. He did not attack directly. He used his divine thought to explore, and his face suddenly changed. What a terrifying time flow! Mu Lin's face changed. This was because he had discovered the terrifying time flow in the canyon. At this rate of time flow, Mu Lin felt that he would not be able to last long in the canyon, let alone go deep into the canyon. Brat, you must have a way to enter the canyon, right? Mu Lin looked at Morongyu gloomily. Of course I have a way to enter. However, there are ferocious beasts around the Black Lotus. I can't handle the Black Lotus myself. Old man, do you want to go in? Morongyu looked at Mu Lin calmly. He did not mind Mu Lin's bad attitude towards him. If Mu Lin wanted to go in, his life would come to an end. Why bother with a person who was about to die? A cold light flashed in Mu Lin's eyes. Nonsense. If I don't go in, why would I come here? If you have a way, tell me quickly. I want 4 Black Lotus seeds, Morongyu said indifferently. Didn't I promise you before? Mu Lin said impatiently. But I don't believe you. You swore to give me 4 Black Lotus seeds. Moreover, you can't kill me now. Otherwise, you won't be able to break through your current realm and become a god. You can only die before you die. Was swearing useful or not? No one knew. However, cultivators would not casually swear an oath. Who knew if his vow would come true one day? Mu Lin's eyes flashed with killing intent. Kid, don't go overboard. I swear that I'll bring you in. Otherwise, you'll have to think of a way yourself. Morongyu looked at Mu Lin indifferently. He was not afraid of an immortal venerable expert. Morongyu's oath was very serious, especially to Mu Lin, who was nearing the end of his life. How could Mu Lin give such Black Lotus seeds to Morongyu? Previously, he only promised Morongyu because he wanted Morongyu to bring him to this place. He did not really want to give Morongyu 4 Black Lotus seed. However, it seemed that he had to give them to Morongyu now. Kid, you're good. I won't kill you when the time comes. However, accidents can happen at any time, especially in a dangerous place like the Immortal Land. Mu Lin sneered in his heart. Therefore, he swore unhappily. Morongyu could naturally guess Mu Lin's thoughts. However, he only did this to make Mu Lin believe in the existence of the Black Lotus even more. I hope you don't go back on your words. Morongyu looked deeply at Mu Lin and then stepped into the canyon. However, Mu Lin did not move. Old man, you don't dare to come in? Morongyu sneered. Mu Lin did not dare to. Once he stepped into the canyon, a large amount of his lifespan would be consumed in an instant. He only had less than 40 billion years of lifespan left. If he entered the canyon, he would probably be killed by the power of time before he could react. Old man, you're not that afraid of death, are you? I've already entered the canyon. What are you still worried about? If you don't dare to come in, then go back. Anyway, I still have a lot of time. I'll come here again when I have enough strength, Morongyu said impatiently. Kid, you won't cheat me, right? Mu Lin said in a deep voice. Why would I cheat you? You can try first, Morongyu said disdainfully. Mu Lin nodded and approached the canyon. At the same time, he put one hand into the canyon. As soon as he put his hand in, he immediately sensed the terrifying flow of time in the canyon. However, at the same time, he also realized that even though the flow of time was terrifying, it did not have any effect on his hand. Mu Lin frowned slightly and put his other hand in as well. After confirming that he was not hurt, he stepped into the canyon. However, he had already increased his strength and speed to the limit. Once something went wrong, he would retreat immediately. Old man, I said I can bring you in. Morongyu sneered. Mu Lin's figure flashed and he appeared beside Morong Yu. At the same time, he put one hand on Morong Yu's shoulder. It's too dangerous here. I'm afraid I can't take care of you. It's easier to protect you this way, Mu Lin said with a smile. A cold light flashed in Morong Yu's eyes, but he cursed in his heart, this old bastard. When did he start to care so much about his own safety? He's just afraid that I'll do something here. At such a close distance, not only did Mu Lin put his hand on Morong Yu's shoulder, but his divine thought also locked onto Morong Yu. He was afraid. The flow of time here was so terrifying. Once Morong Yu did something, he would not be able to leave this place at all. However, unless Morong Yu also wanted to die, Mu Lin could kill Morong Yu immediately if he dared to touch the phone. Kid, since you have this ability, why didn't you use it earlier? Mu Lin's eyes flickered with a cold glint as he looked at Morong Yu. A dangerous aura emanated from his body. Are you an idiot? This kind of energy consumption is terrifying. We can only stay in the canyon for an hour at most. Once we exceed this hour, my treasure will collapse and we will all die here. Morong Yu cursed at Mu Lin. Mu Lin's heart was filled with killing intent. He could not wait to slap Morong Yu to death. However, he knew that now was not a good time to kill him. I'll endure it. When I get the Black Lotus seed, it'll be your death. Mu Lin roared in his heart. Chapter 653. Morong Yu and Mu Lin slowly walked into the canyon. Throughout this process, Mu Lin's hand never left Morong Yu's shoulder. In fact, Morong Yu could even feel a powerful aura lingering on Mu Lin's palm. As long as Morong Yu made any strange movements, this violent power would immediately erupt and directly blast Morong Yu into smithereens. Morong Yu sneered in his heart. He did not speak anymore and just walked forward slowly. Since Mu Lin had already entered, he was dead meat. Even if he threatened Morong Yu, his fate could not be changed. Morong Yu believed that as long as he had Black Lotus remove the barrier covering Mu Lin's body, it wouldn't take long for Mu Lin to be killed by the frightening power of time. However, that would definitely make Mu Lin realize it. Once Mu Lin realized it and gave Morong Yu a palm strike before he died, Morong Yu would definitely die. Therefore, Mu Lin had to die, but he had to find the right opportunity. The canyon was very long, but Morong Yu and Mu Lin were not slow. Very soon, they had already gone deep into the canyon. At this moment, Mu Lin was getting more and more nervous. This was because he saw that the flow of time outside was getting more and more terrifying. If anything happened, he would not have time to rush out of the canyon. Therefore, even if Morong Yu said that they could enter this place because of one of his treasures, Mu Lin did not have the thought of seizing this treasure. Once he failed to seize it, he did not know if Morong Yu would die, but he would definitely die. The fragrance is getting stronger. Smelling the fragrance that was getting stronger, Mu Lin became more and more excited. After turning a corner, the path ahead suddenly opened up. A small lake appeared before Mu Lin's eyes. In the middle of the lake, a black lotus was swaying in the wind. The fragrance was coming from the black lotus. Black lotus, there really is a black lotus. The moment he saw the black lotus, Mu Lin was wild with joy. Just as he was pleasantly surprised, his hand on Morong Yu's shoulder loosened slightly. This is the time. Black Lotus, attack! Morong Yu roared in his heart. With a flash of his body, he rushed in the direction of Black Lotus. When Morong Yu transmitted his voice, Black Lotus also took action. He immediately removed the space shield on Morong Yu's body. Without the spatial shield to resist the power of time, Mu Lin suddenly let out an earth-shattering roar. In the blink of an eye, Mu Lin was horrified to see his lifespan slipping away at a terrifying speed. In the blink of an eye, 5 billion years of lifespan had passed. Morong Yu, you plotted against me. The reaction of the immortal venerable Mu Lin was extremely terrifying. At the same time, he slapped Morong Yu with his palm. At the same time, Mu Lin had already unleashed his speed and shot out of the canyon. The speed at which his lifespan was depleting was too terrifying. Although he wanted to kill Murong-yu, it was more important for him to stay alive. Swoosh! Murong-yu shot out as fast as he could, but Mu Lin's reaction was simply too fast. Murong-yu hadn't even covered a distance of half a kilometer when Mu Lin's palm came crashing down. Murong-yu roared in his heart. Waves of space force were frantically released by him, forming a space shield behind him. However, his space force was still very powerful in other places. However, the flow of time in the canyon was too terrifying. Not long after his space shield was formed, it was obliterated by the power of time. Fortunately, Black Lotus's reaction was fast enough. After removing Mu Lin's spatial barrier, Black Lotus created several spatial barriers that enveloped Murong-yu, protecting him in layers of protection. Bang! Everything happened in an instant. Soon, Murong-yu's palm slapped down hard on Murong-yu's body. A terrifying force burst out, and the space shield that Black Lotus had created around Murong-yu began to shatter. Black Lotus's space shield had no problem blocking the power of time here, because the power of time here did not have any offensive power. However, Mu Lin's furious attack was his strongest attack as an immortal venerable. In an instant, dozens of layers of space shield were smashed. The terrifying force sent Murong-yu flying. Puff! Murong-yu suffered a heavy blow. The terrifying force even caused his body, which had reached the level of a royal armament, to crack. More than 90% of the meridians in his body were instantly shattered. These were only external injuries. With the power of life, they were no threat to Murong-yu. However, Murong-yu's face turned pale in an instant. It was not because he was seriously injured. In fact, it was because the space shield that Black Lotus had created around him had been smashed by Mu Lin's palm. Dozens of layers of space shield were smashed, and Murong-yu only had one space shield protecting him. Moreover, this space shield was in imminent danger. It trembled constantly and was about to shatter under the impact of the power of time. Once the space shield was shattered, Murong-yu would not have much lifespan left even if he did not die. Murong-yu's heart was filled with fear as he yelled, "Black Lotus!" Whoosh! Just as he roared, a shield appeared out of thin air and enveloped him once again. At the same time as this barrier appeared, the previous barrier emitted a "kacha" sound and then shattered. That was close. Murong-yu's face was pale and he said with lingering fear. If Black Lotus's reaction had been slightly slower, Murong-yu's lifespan would have been reduced by tens of billions. At this moment, Murong-yu glanced at Mu Lin from the corner of his eye. He had aged a lot. His body, which was originally like a normal person, was now hunched over. There was even a trace of death chi, which only appeared when one's lifespan was approaching. This death chi was not the death chi in the Death Sea. This death chi did not have any offensive power and did not affect others. However, when this death chi appeared, it meant that this person did not have long to live. Ah! Murong-yu, in the name of the Immortal Prime, I curse you. You will never become a god and will die an unnatural death. Mu Lin roared in horror. However, before he could finish his sentence, his body, which was flying forward, fell to the ground with a thud. Then, Mu Lin's body was washed by the power of time. It quickly turned into ashes and dissipated between heaven and earth. At the moment of Mu Lin's death, rumble, the entire firmament of the immortal world was enveloped by a thick layer of blood clouds. At the same time, bolts of crimson lightning continuously struck down, followed by a rain of blood. Changes in heaven and earth. Blood clouds, blood lightning, blood rain. An immortal prime has fallen. While many were panicking, a few experts were stunned and speechless as they stared at the sky. Changes in heaven and earth, and an immortal prime had fallen. That immortal prime has fallen? Those who knew of the situation were shocked. When an immortal prime fell, there would be changes in heaven and earth in the immortal world. This was because immortal primes were the most supreme beings in the immortal world. Even the heavens and earth mourned for their death. The moment Mu Lin died in the Mu clan of Greenrock City. Crack. The expressions of the Mu clan patriarch and a few important elders of the Mu clan changed drastically. They were shocked to discover that their ancestor Mu Lin's soul crystal had shattered in their space. The shattering of the soul crystal meant that the person had fallen. Combined with the various changes in the sky, the patriarch and the others immediately knew that their ancestor had most likely fallen. What's going on? How did the ancestor fall? He still has tens of billions of years of life left. The people from the Mu clan were shocked. Amidst their shock, their faces were filled with worry. When their ancestor had been alive, the Mu clan had been riding on the crest of success. Once news of their ancestor's death spread, Mu Lin's enemies would come knocking on their door. When that happened, the Mu clan would be no match for them. Elders, I hope that news of the ancestor's death can be kept a secret. The patriarch instantly thought of many possibilities and transmitted a message to the elders who possessed the head elder's soul crystal. The elders of the Mu clan knew the severity of the situation. Investigate. We must find out who killed the ancestor and why he died. The patriarch roared furiously. Of course, they wouldn't investigate the matter openly. They could only investigate in secret. The changes in heaven and earth came and went as quickly as they came. In less than 10 breaths of time, the changes disappeared and heaven and earth returned to normal. It was as if nothing had happened at all. A celestial sovereign has fallen. So a celestial sovereign has fallen. News of a celestial sovereign's death quickly spread throughout the immortal realm. It didn't take long for the entire immortal realm to know that a celestial sovereign had fallen. A celestial sovereign is a lofty expert, the most powerful person in the immortal realm. There are only a few of them in the entire immortal realm. Now, one of them has fallen. The entire immortal realm was talking about this matter. Investigate. Find out which immortal venerable has fallen. Orders were issued one after another, and the intelligence organizations of countless forces began to operate rapidly. However, Mu Lin had fallen in the immortal realm. For the time being, no one would know that it was Mu Lin who had fallen. If the patriarch of the Mu clan and the others kept it a secret, the news of Mu Lin's death could be kept a secret for a long time. A celestial sovereign has fallen and a change in heaven and earth. Murong Yu was also shocked by the sudden change in heaven and earth. A celestial sovereign's death might not necessarily cause such a change in heaven and earth. If the celestial sovereign had died due to the exhaustion of his lifespan, there wouldn't be such a change in heaven and earth. Once there was a change, it meant that the fallen celestial sovereign had been killed or had died in an accident. Therefore, the patriarch of the Mu clan said that Mu Lin had been killed or had died in an accident. Chapter 654. While everyone in the immortal world was shocked by the death of an immortal venerable, Murong Yu had already returned to Feng City. He had already entered the Hichu Luoshu world. Mu Liu and Mu Tong were together in the Hichu Luoshu world. However, both of them didn't look too good. Mu Lin had given Murong Yu a year to hand over Mu Liu. Many years had passed since then. They never thought that Murong Yu would be able to deal with Mu Lin. The only reason Murong Yu had hidden them here was because he had no other choice. This was especially true for Mu Tong. As time passed, the guilt in her heart grew stronger and stronger. Little man, how are you now? Has Mu Lin attacked the heavenly court? Did the heavenly court suffer a great loss? You're no match for Mu Lin. Just hand me over. Seeing Murong Yu walk in, Mu Liu immediately ran over and said worriedly. She didn't notice the smile on Murong Yu's face. Murong Yu immediately felt depressed. Little woman, is your little butt itchy? Don't you have any confidence in your man? Murong Yu rolled his eyes and said, I want to have confidence, but the gap between you two is too big. Even if the heavenly court has immortal emperors, Mu Lin is an immortal supremacy. Mu Liuya thought helplessly. Whether it was Mu Liuya or Mu Tong, they never thought that Morong Yu would be able to deal with Mu Lin. Didn't you notice the smile on my face today? Morong Yu looked at the two women speechlessly. I didn't see it, but I did see the depressed look on your face. Mu Liuya shook her head and said, Isn't this gloomy expression because of what you said? Morong Yu was speechless. He then continued, I'm here to tell you too a piece of good news. You won't be a cauldron in the future. Really? Mu Liuya was overjoyed, but after the pleasant surprise, Mu Liuya fell silent and said faintly, Little man, you don't have to comfort me. Unless Mu Lin is dead, he won't let me go. You're right. Mu Lin is indeed dead. Morong Yu smiled. What? Mu Liuya and Mu Tong exclaimed in unison. Mu Liuya shook her head and said, Little man, you don't have to comfort me. Mu Lin is a celestial venerable. How could he die so easily? Even other immortal venerables would find it hard to kill him. Mu Liuya thought that Morong Yu was just trying to comfort her. Morong Yu shook her head. She knew that Mu Liuya would not believe her. Therefore, he waved his hand, and the scene of Mu Lin falling in the Paradise Canyon appeared before their eyes, as well as the changes in the world. It's true. Mu Lin is really dead. Mu Liuya and Mu Tong's faces were filled with shock when they saw this scene. From the perspective of the video, it seemed that Morong Yu was also there. Of course Mu Lin is really dead. Why would I lie to you? Morong Yu said while rolling his eyes. Mu Lin is really dead. That's great. Mu Liuya's face lit up with joy while Mu Tong cheered. Although they were all members of Mu clan and Mu Lin was their old ancestor, they should not be happy about the death of such a powerful celestial venerable. However, Mu Lin was too shameless to do such a thing to Mu Liuya. Mu Liuya and the others no longer regarded Mu Lin as their old ancestor, but as their enemy. Now that their enemy was dead, they were naturally happy that he was no longer a threat to them. Little man. Mu Liuya was touched and took the initiative to give Morong Yu a kiss. Little man, I want to know how Mu Lin died. After all, Mu Lin was an immortal venerable expert. Mu Liuya was not the only one who was curious about how he died. Especially when he died in the hands of Morong Yu, a Nine Heavens Xian immortal expert. I only lured him into the immortal realm. Morong Yu smiled as he gave a rough explanation of what had happened. As for the matter of Black Lotus, he only briefly mentioned it. He did not want Mu Liuya and the others to know about it for the time being. It was not that he did not trust them, but it would be a disaster for Morong Yu if they accidentally leaked the information. Little man, thank you. Mu Liuya looked at Morong Yu with a touched face. Morong Yu said it casually, but Mu Liuya knew how dangerous the journey was for Morong Yu. As long as there was a slight mistake, Morong Yu would be the one to die, not Mu Lin. You're my woman. That's what I have to do. Morong Yu chuckled and slapped Mu Liuya's plump and bouncy buttock. It feels good. Mu Liuya blushed and said shyly, Pervert, Mu Tong is still here. Morong Yu laughed. That's easy. As he spoke, Morong Yu had already picked up Mu Liuya. With a flash of his body, he disappeared from where he stood. Only Mu Tong was left standing on the spot with a red face. On the other side it was spring. Mu Lin was dead and the Mu clan could not find him for the time being. At the same time, Morong Yu's other enemies did not show any signs of making a move. Therefore, the Heavenly Court once again enjoyed a peaceful and stable period of development. A few hundred years passed in a flash. In these few hundred years, there were not many experts who joined the Heavenly Court, but there were definitely a lot of them. The number of immortal emperors increased by another 5, making a total of 15 immortal emperors. In addition, the number of immortal monarch experts in the Heavenly Court had reached a terrifying number of 500. The number of immortal king experts had reached 3,000 a few hundred years ago. After a few hundred years of development, the number of Heavenly Court experts in the Heavenly Court had exceeded 10,000. This kind of strength was extremely terrifying. Although there were not many immortal emperors in the heavenly court, and there were not many immortal monarchs either. However, one must not forget that the heavenly court had only been established for 10,000 years. To develop to such a terrifying level of strength in 10,000 years, this speed of development was absolutely terrifying. Although the heavenly court's current strength was far from the superfactions. Even so, it was definitely at the forefront of the superfactions. The reason for the heavenly court's rapid development was inseparable from the various systems that Murong Yu had promulgated. First of all, disciples who joined the heavenly court were treated much better than ordinary super first-rate disciples. For example, ordinary super disciples and immortal kings could receive 10,000 immortal spirit pills every year, but the heavenly court had 1,000 immortal spirit pills. Although 1,000 immortal spirit pills was not a lot over the years, this number was very terrifying. An immortal king had a lifespan of hundreds of billions of years. After hundreds of billions of years, the extra immortal spirit pills they received was extremely terrifying. Moreover, this was only the most basic benefit. In this aspect, the greater the contribution to the heavenly court, the better their treatment. For example, an expert who was only a golden immortal but had made a huge contribution to the heavenly court. Then, although he was only a golden immortal, his treatment might be equal to that of an immortal monarch expert. It was even possible for him to enjoy the treatment of an immortal emperor. These were only the most basic benefits. On this basis, the heavenly court provided all kinds of divine weapons and magic treasures to any disciple in the heavenly court. Of course, they couldn't be provided for free. If that was the case, then no matter how many treasures Murong Yu had, there wouldn't be enough to go around. Moreover, if spies from other factions infiltrated the heavenly court, then Murong Yu's treasures might be taken by his enemies. It was said that the greater the contribution a disciple made to the heavenly court, the better their treatment would be. How would they measure a person's contribution to the heavenly court? Stars. Yes, Murong Yu had directly quoted stars. How much one contributed to the heavenly court was how many stars one had. The higher the stars, the greater one's contribution to the heavenly court. Stars had many benefits in the heavenly court. Stars could be exchanged for all kinds of divine weapons and magic treasures in the heavenly court's treasury, provided that one had enough stars to do so. Apart from divine weapons and magic treasures, the heavenly court's treasury also had all kinds of pills, refining materials, natural treasures, and so on. Depending on how precious they were, they required different stars to exchange for. Stars couldn't be transferred. In principle, as long as one had enough stars, they could exchange for all kinds of treasures without any restrictions. There were no restrictions on this. Apart from that, stars had another huge use. They could use a certain number of stars to allow Murong Yu to treat them once, and a certain number of stars would be deducted according to the condition of the illness. Moreover, if one used stars to exchange for Murong Yu's treatment, it would be much cheaper than Murong Yu's treatment of other people. Generally speaking, if one came to ask Murong Yu to treat them, they would have to spend a lot of money. The stronger one was, the stronger the faction behind them, and the more Murong Yu would accept. The heavenly court's treasury contained all kinds of divine weapons, magic treasures, materials, and natural treasures. There were even many king and monarch-level divine weapons and magic treasures. In addition to the various policies and the methods of Murong Yu's divine Doctor Sacred Hands, many people chose to join the heavenly court even though it had only been a few hundred years. One had to know that in the immortal world, the majority of immortal kings didn't have a king weapon, let alone a monarch weapon. But in the heavenly court, as long as they had enough stars, they could have a monarch weapon, or even an emperor weapon. Apart from that, there was also a portion that saw the opportunity to use stars to exchange for Murong Yu's treatment. As immortals, they might not have any illnesses, but all kinds of hidden injuries were unavoidable. And some hidden injuries could prevent one's strength from increasing. Therefore, more and more experts joined the heavenly court. Chapter 655. Phew, it's been 500 years. I finally have 150 million star points. Murong Yu heaved a sigh of relief in a city in a large province in the immortal world. Just now, he had killed a star-level evil man and obtained 10,000 star points. He finally had 150 million star points, which was just enough to buy the Monarch Breaking Pill and the Monarch Breaking Pill. 500 years to obtain 150 million star points. Could it be that it was so difficult to earn star points now? Or could it be that the number of evil men in the immortal world had decreased greatly? No, how many evil men were there in the immortal world? If he killed all of them, not to mention 100 million star points, he could even get 100 billion star points, 1 trillion star points, or even more. The key was that Murong Yu didn't just kill evil men to earn star points. Other than being busy with the development of the heavenly court, Murong Yu also used a portion of his time to cultivating in the heavenly punishment world. Murong Yu's realm and strength hadn't broken through, and he was still in the 9 heavens Xian, immortal realm. However, after a few hundred years of cultivation, his combat strength had become stronger and stronger. 20,000 coiled dragon power was extremely condensed. If Murong Yu's combat strength was 500 years ago, then his current combat strength was 3 or dead. With 20,000 coiled dragon power, Murong Yu could kill ordinary immortal monarchs who weren't very strong. Of course, it was still difficult for Murong Yu to kill powerful immortal monarchs and immortal emperors. With a sway of his body, Murong Yu disappeared from where he stood and reappeared in the He Tu and Luo Shu worlds. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Not long after he appeared, a few other figures appeared in front of him. Zhao Jiqing, Yu Mengqing, the fire-eyed golden ape, and even Li Su and the others all appeared here. After so many years of cultivation, Zhao Jiqing's strength was the same as Murong Yu's. She had reached the late stage 9 heavens Xian, immortal realm. Yu Mengqing's battle prowess was slightly weaker than Zhao Jiqing, but she had also reached the late stage of 9 heavens Xian, immortal. The fire-eyed golden ape, who had obtained the inheritance of the heavenly demon god, was not weak either. He had long stepped into the 9 heavens Xian, immortal realm, and his actual combat strength was close to the immortal king realm. He was extremely powerful. As for Li Su, the little ape king, and the others, they were slightly weaker, but they had also improved a lot. It was worth mentioning that their strength was not cultivated like Zhao Jiqing and the others. Instead, it was because of the Immortal Expansion Pill. The Immortal Expansion Pill and various other resources were given to them. Murong Yu had even activated time acceleration for them. In other words, they had been cultivating for hundreds of thousands of years. Their talents were originally at the level of super geniuses. Coupled with the Immortal Expansion Pill, it was considered extremely fast for them to reach the 9 heavens Xian, immortal realm, in a few 100,000 years. Of course, the old Lion King's talent was a little lacking. He had only reached the golden immortal realm at this moment. Everyone is doing well. Basically, all of you have reached the 9 heavens Xian, immortal realm. Your combat strength also far surpasses experts of the same realm as you. However, on the path of cultivation, you can't just cultivate blindly to make you stronger. Therefore, in the following period of time, everyone will leave my spatial treasure for a period of time. Li Su, Little Lion King, Little Ape King, from now on, you will officially join the Heavenly Court and become its managers. Are there any problems? Murong Yu looked at Li Su and the others and suddenly said, "No problem." Li Su and the other 2 answered without any hesitation. A few hundred years ago, when they decided to borrow Murong Yu's strength to increase their own strength, they were already mentally prepared. In that case, let's go out first. Murong Yu smiled. His figure changed, and he appeared in the heavenly court with everyone. After leaving, Zhao Jiqing, Mu Liue, the old Lion King, and the others all left. The old Lion King. He had no intention of becoming the manager of the heavenly court. His only thought was to increase his own strength. In the heavenly court Great Hall, Black Tiger, Fengshen, and the others quickly arrived. Black Tiger, I believe you are not unfamiliar with Li Su and the other two, so I won't introduce them. I called you here to tell you that from today onwards, Li Su and the others will join the heavenly court. Their status in the heavenly court is the same as yours. Do you have any objections? Holy Master, we have no objections. Black Tiger and the others quickly responded. Strictly speaking, they were Murong Yu's servants. People whose souls were controlled by Murong Yu. They supported any decision of Murong Yu and were absolutely loyal to Murong Yu. Although they felt that Murong Yu's decision was a bit sudden, they didn't have any other thoughts. Murong Yu nodded and revealed a smile. The heavenly court has been developing well these few years. You guys have done well. Black Tiger and the others revealed a smile. They were happy to receive Murong Yu's affirmation. However, our heavenly court will become stronger and stronger. Right now, there are only 15 immortal emperors. However, I believe that as the heavenly court becomes stronger and stronger, there will be more immortal emperors joining the heavenly court. Even if it's an immortal sovereign, our heavenly court will have one. Moreover, that day is not far away. When they thought about how the heavenly court had an immortal sovereign and became a superpower in the immortal world, Black Tiger and the others revealed even more smiles. If the heavenly court really became that level of power, then they would be the elders of the superpower. However, your strength is still too low. Right now, there aren't many top experts in the heavenly court, so they won't have any objections to you guys. However, if the heavenly court becomes stronger and your strength remains stagnant at the immortal king realm, there will be many people who won't accept you guys. At this point, the expressions of Black Tiger and the others changed, following which their faces revealed a helpless expression. They were immortal king realm experts. Even in the immortal world, they were considered experts. However, there were still immortal monarchs and immortal emperors in the immortal king realm. Not to mention immortal sovereigns, although there weren't many immortal monarchs and immortal emperors, the immortal world was so big and there were so many immortals. There were still many experts of this level. However, how difficult would it be to break through? 100 immortal kings. Before the end of their lifespans, it would already be very good if one of them could break through to the immortal monarch realm. However, the vast majority of immortal kings had no hope of breaking through. In the end, they could only exhaust their lifespans and die. Therefore, the mission of the 7 of you is to break through to the immortal monarch realm. If you don't reach the immortal monarch realm, you don't have to show your faces. Murong Yu said indifferently. Miao Yi and the others revealed bitter smiles. Fengshen said helplessly, Holy Master, we do want to break through to the immortal monarch realm, but how can it be so easy? That's right, Holy Master. Right now, we have more than 500 immortal monarch realm experts in the heavenly court and more than 10,000 immortal kings. It can be said that our battle strength is only average among these people. We also want to break through, but breaking through is not something we can do just because we want to. Breaking through to the immortal monarch realm is not difficult. If I say you can, then you can. I'll give you a year's time to let Li Su and the others familiarize themselves with the matters at hand. 1 year from today, you guys will begin your closed-door cultivation. Hearing this, Black Tiger and the others were excited. From what Murong Yu said, he had the confidence to let all 7 of them enter the immortal monarch realm. A year's time passed quickly. Li Su and the other 2 had successfully taken over the positions of Black Tiger and the others, and began to take over everything in the heavenly court. At this time, Black Tiger and the others had already entered the Hichu Luoshu world. Holy Master, shall we begin now? Black Tiger could not help but ask after entering the Hichu Luoshu world. If you guys start now, I have no objections. However, even if you guys cultivate for hundreds of millions of years, you probably won't be able to break through to the immortal monarch realm. Murong Yu smiled faintly. Then, 7 storage rings appeared in front of Black Tiger and the others. Immortal meridians, a large number of immortal meridians. Black Tiger and the others sent their spiritual will in and saw that there were immortal meridians piled up like small mountains. At the same time, a pill the size of a pigeon's egg appeared in Murong Yu's hand. It emitted a faint glow and contained a terrifying power. This is called the Monarch Breakthrough Pill. It can allow an Immortal King Realm expert to break through to the Immortal Monarch Realm. Monarch Breakthrough Pill. When they heard these 3 words, Black Tiger and the others were shocked. Then, their faces were filled with excitement. Holy Master, are we going to use the Monarch Breakthrough Pill to break through to the next realm? Hong Yu asked excitedly. Under everyone's expectant gaze, Murong Yu nodded and said, "That's right. Each of you will have 10 Monarch Breakthrough Pills to break through to the next realm. If 10 pills can't help you break through, then your talent will disappoint me." Before he finished speaking, 7 jade bottles appeared in front of Hong Yu and the others. Each bottle contained 10 Monarch Breakthrough Pills. "Then, go and break through for me now." Murong Yu waved his hand. Everyone suppressed the excitement in their hearts and bowed deeply to Murong Yu. Then, they left to find a place to break through. Hichu, start burning your immortal meridians and speed up time. And speed it up 1,000 times. Let them break through to the immortal monarch realm in the shortest time possible. At the same time, pay attention to them. If there are any problems, inform me immediately. After speaking, Murong Yu disappeared from the Hichu Luoshu world. Monarch Breakthrough Pill has been exchanged. But regarding the southern mountains, Murong Yu frowned slightly. The southern mountains had always been a thorn in Murong Yu's heart. It always made him uncomfortable. Experts above the 9 heavens Xian immortal realm will be killed inexplicably when they enter the southern mountains. There must be someone hiding in the southern mountains. If we want to find this hidden expert, we can only lure him out. But perhaps experts in the heavenly court will fall like this. Murong Yu muttered in his heart. But if there are no sacrifices, the southern mountains will never be solved. But if the southern mountains can't be solved, it will always restrict the development of Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace. Since that's the case, let's get rid of him. Murong Yu's eyes flashed. Then, he gave some instructions to Li Su and the others. Murong Yu took some experts from the heavenly court and left Feng City for the southern mountains. Chapter 656. South Ridge Region. Outside the South Ridge, a few figures flew over at a terrifying speed from afar and stopped outside the South Ridge. Sacred Lord, are we going into the South Ridge? Wang Bai looked at Murong Yu and asked. Wang Bai was an immortal lord expert and one of the hundreds of immortal lords in the heavenly court. At this moment, he turned to look at Murong Yu and asked. Murong Yu didn't say anything and just looked at the South Ridge in front of him quietly with a slight frown. The heaven and earth spirit chi in the South Ridge was very dense. Even if one didn't use immortal spirit pills or immortal meridians, cultivating in the South Ridge would yield twice the results with half the effort. Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace were built here, and Murong Yu didn't want to move them away. However, if he wanted Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace to become stronger, he had to solve the long-term problem in the South Ridge. Thus, Murong Yu brought an immortal monarch and 2 immortal emperors from the heavenly court to the southern mountains. Experts of immortal king level or above would be killed if they entered the South Ridge. However, Murong Yu didn't discover the expert hiding in the South Ridge. Therefore, Murong Yu wanted to use experts to lure the expert out. Xiaohua, you 2 enter my treasure space first. Wang Bai will be outside. Murong Yu pondered for a moment and put Xiaohua and the other immortal lord into the Hichu Luoshu world. Wang Bai, be careful. With Xiaohua and the other 2, we won't be in trouble. Even if the expert in the South Ridge attacks, Xiaohua and the other 2 can attack immediately. Murong Yu looked at the slightly nervous Wang Bai and said. Wang Bai nodded slightly. He was a little nervous and excited about entering the South Ridge. As a person of the immortal world, who didn't know the terror of the South Ridge? Wang Bai naturally knew, but he also wanted to enter the South Ridge to take a look. Therefore, when Murong Yu found him, he agreed without hesitation. Black Lotus, give us a spatial shield. Xiaohozhuo, if someone attacks, the two of you will be the first to attack. Murong Yu first transmitted a message to Black Lotus before instructing Xiaohozhuo and Xiaohozhuo. Holy Master, don't worry. I've already prepared my brick. Xiaohozhuo held the golden brick in his hand, the imperial armament. He smiled and said. The other immortal emperor also nodded slightly. Before entering, Murong Yu instructed Wang Bai, Wang Bai, if you feel that someone is in danger, immediately retreat from the southern mountains. This fellow was an expert of the immortal monarch realm. If he was killed, the heavenly court would burn an expert. Even Murong Yu would feel heartache. Wang Bai nodded his head nervously and excitedly. Then, he followed Murong Yu into the southern mountains. Murong Yu spread out his enormous spiritual force, covering an area of 100 million miles. He raised his strength to the limit and walked into the depths of the southern mountains at a leisurely pace. Wang Bai was the same. He was nervous, but there was also a trace of excitement. There was even a faint trace of anticipation. 1 mile, 5 miles, 10 miles, 100 miles. Soon, they crossed a distance of 100 miles. However, nothing happened. Holy Master, something's wrong. Why is nothing happening? I heard that as long as one enters 10 miles into the South Mountain Range, those experts will be mysteriously killed. Wang Bai suddenly said. His voice spread out in the silent forest, almost giving Murong Yu a fright. Wang Bai, you seem to be looking forward to it? Murong Yu looked at Wang Bai, somewhat speechless. A little bit. I've always heard that the South Ridge is so mysterious. I've long wanted to come and take a look. It's just that I haven't made up my mind. Wang Bai smiled embarrassedly before saying. Murong Yu was instantly speechless. However, there were many people like Wang Bai who weren't afraid of death in the immortal world. Murong Yu didn't want to say anything. After all, everyone had their own way of life. He only said, be careful. Perhaps the expert in the dark hasn't made his move yet. Wang Bai nodded. Then, they continued to go deeper into the South Ridge. When they went deep into the South Ridge, and even neared Shenzhen, the two of them were completely fine. In fact, they didn't even feel that something was going to happen. A few days later. Holy Lord, something's not right. We've already walked around the entire southern mountain range, but nothing has happened. Could it be that those legends are fake? Wang Bai said with a gloomy face. Murong Yu was also very confused. The South Ridge was definitely not just a legend. It should be real. Otherwise, the Immortal Palace and the Devil Sect would definitely not just look at the South Ridge and not make a move. Could it be because we're too weak? Murong Yu muttered to himself for a moment. Then, with a flash, Xiaohozhuo appeared beside them. Holy Master, it's a bit strange. That existence in the dark hasn't made his move? Xiaohozhuo said doubtfully. During this process, he and the other immortal emperor could see everything outside. Of course, they knew what was going on. Murong Yu nodded. Then, they continued to wander around the South Ridge. However, the three of them walked around the entire South Ridge and still didn't find anything. Before Murong Yu entered the South Ridge, Murong Yu had already activated the sect protecting formation of Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace. Under Murong Yu's lead, Wang Bai and Xiaohozhuo didn't discover the existence of Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace. Gan Fei, come out too. Gan Fei was the immortal emperor of the heavenly court in the Hichu Luoshu world. Murong Yu transmitted a message to him and let him out. However, what left Murong Yu and the others speechless was that even with the addition of a powerful immortal emperor, nothing had happened. This place is so strange. Murong Yu and the others were puzzled. There's someone up ahead? Under the cover of his spiritual force, Xiahou Zhuo first discovered that there was a person not far from them. Immortal Emperor. Not good. Xiahou Zhuo's expression suddenly changed. At that moment, Morong Yu and the others sent out their divine senses. Chi. A dazzling sword light suddenly appeared out of thin air near the immortal emperor that Morong Yu had seen. Then, it rapidly shot towards the immortal emperor. The dazzling sword light contained a terrifying aura. Even Morong Yu and the others, who were hundreds of millions of miles away, could feel the terrifying aura contained within the sword light. That immortal emperor expert's reaction speed was also very terrifying. The instant the sword light appeared, he had already reacted. With a low roar, a divine weapon appeared in his hand and he viciously swung it at the sword light. The immortal emperor's divine weapon was about to collide with the sword light that appeared out of nowhere. However, the sword light seemed to have a life of its own as it suddenly twisted in midair. Then, the sword light evaded the immortal emperor's attack. Xiahou Zhuo was in a state of panic. After evading the immortal emperor's attack, the sword light exploded with light that soared into the sky. It was even more dazzling than before. Even Morong Yu and the others who were watching with their consciousness could sense how blinding the sword light was. The sword light suddenly sped up and streaked across the immortal emperor's chest. Then, it disappeared into the void on the other side. Then, Morong Yu and the others watched in horror as the sword light cleaved the immortal emperor in half. The immortal emperor expert was actually cut into two halves by the sword light near his chest. Bang! Bang! After two muffled sounds, the two halves of the immortal emperor's body fell to the ground. Morong Yu and the others could feel the immortal emperor's life force rapidly fading away. After a few breaths, the immortal emperor's life force completely disappeared. He's dead. Morong Yu and the others retracted their consciousness. They couldn't help but glance at each other. Then, they saw the shock in each other's eyes. One-hit kill. That's an immortal emperor. Gan Fei's face was full of shock. There was even a trace of fear in his eyes. One-hit kill of an immortal emperor. Such strength was extremely terrifying. If that sword light had appeared beside them, Morong Yu and the others couldn't help but shudder. Is the one who attacked in secret an immortal venerable expert? Only someone of that level can kill an immortal emperor with one strike, Xiahou Zhuo said in shock. As he spoke, he couldn't help but tighten his grip on the brick in his hand. He could even feel that the back of his shirt was wet. It was wet from the cold sweat that had seeped out of his back. It seems that the immortal emperor who was killed is still in the outermost layer of the southern mountain range, Morong Yu said in a low voice. They were originally heading out of the southern mountain range. However, the immortal emperor who was killed was less than 100 miles into the southern mountain range. The hidden expert won't attack us as well, right? Wang Bai suddenly said. Then, his expression changed. Once that expert attacks, we definitely won't be able to stop him, Xiahou Zhuo said in a low voice as he gripped the brick in his hand tightly. Even with an emperor weapon in hand, he didn't have the slightest bit of confidence. Someone who could instantly kill an immortal emperor was also capable of instantly killing them. Let's leave this place first, Morong Yu said in a low voice. If that sword light appeared again, Xiahou Zhuo and the other two would be in danger. If the three of them died here, it would be a heavy blow to the heavenly court. Wang Bai and the other two nodded. Immediately, they rushed out of the southern mountain range at full speed. They were really scared out of their wit. As they ran at full speed, it didn't take long for them to leave the southern mountain range. After leaving the southern mountain range, they finally let out a sigh of relief. At this moment, their backs were all drenched in sweat. The southern mountain range is indeed strange. However, why haven't the four of us been attacked after wandering around here for a few days? And that immortal emperor was killed as soon as he entered? The four of them looked at the southern mountain range and fell into deep thought and confusion. Chapter 657. After a long while, Morong Yu asked Xiahou Zhuo with an ugly expression, Xiahou, were you able to block that attack? Xiahou shook his head and sighed. With the brick, I might be able to block one attack, but if it comes a few more times, I won't be able to block it. I can only hold on for a short period of time. Murong Yu's expression turned even uglier as he looked at Gan Fei. Gan Fei smiled bitterly. Brother Xiahou couldn't hold on for long with the Emperor weapon, much less me. My apologies, Sacred Lord. Murong Yu shook his head, but his heart sank. This incident at least proved that the legends in the South Mountain Range were not just legends, but fact. Proving the truth was a good thing, but it was a bad thing for Murong Yu. He couldn't solve this problem now, and if he couldn't, it would restrict the development of Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace, unless they moved out of the South Mountain Range. However, although the Immortal Realm was big, where else was suitable for Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace besides the South Mountain Range? There was none. After so many years, all the places with abundant spirit chi had been occupied by various factions. Sacred Lord, the attacker should be an immortal sovereign expert, and his strength is terrifying. We can't solve this with our strength. Even if we use all the strength of the Heavenly Court, we won't be able to kill him. More importantly, how many such experts are there in the South Mountain Range? According to the legends, there wasn't only one such expert in the South Mountain Range. Otherwise, the experts of the various sects would have solved this problem long ago. In fact, the South Mountain Range was one of the most dangerous places in the Immortal Realm. You guys stay here, I'll go in and take a look. Murong Yu said after a long while, feeling a bit irritated. Sacred Lord, you can't. Xiahou and the other two's expressions changed as they shouted in unison. The South Ridge is truly bizarre. It is too dangerous for you to enter, Xiahou said grimly. That's right. Sacred Lord, you're the pillar of support for the Heavenly Court. If anything happens to you, Gan Fei said solemnly. They didn't want Murong Yu to take the risk of entering the Southern Mountain Range. Murong Yu said faintly, I'm only a 9 Heavens Xian immortal, not an immortal king. Only those who had reached the immortal king realm would be in danger when they entered the Southern Mountains. Therefore, there is no danger for me to enter the Southern Mountain Range. Moreover, even if there is danger, I am confident that I can protect myself. Xiahou and the other two looked at each other. Although they knew that Murong Yu was powerful, they didn't really believe what Murong Yu said. However, Murong Yu was the Holy Master. Once he decided on something, they naturally had no right to continue objecting. Even if they objected, they couldn't change Murong Yu's mind. Taking a deep breath, Murong Yu's figure flashed and disappeared on the spot. He had already entered the Southern Mountain Range. Seeing Murong Yu's figure gradually disappear from their spiritual sense, Xiahou and the other two looked at each other. The two of you, what do you think of this matter? Xiahou said in a low voice to Gan Fei and Gan Fei. Both of them shook their heads. What could they do? The existence that had acted in the dark was too terrifying. If they entered the Southern Mountain Range, they would end up being killed like that immortal emperor. Letting the Holy Master enter the Southern Mountain Range alone seems to be a bit too much. We should go with the Holy Master, Xiahou said in a low voice. He was now very loyal to Murong Yu. It wasn't just because of the imperial weapon in his hand. But if we go in, I'm afraid it won't be good for the Holy Master. If we provoke that expert in the dark, even the Holy Master might be killed. Now, there shouldn't be any problem for the Holy Master to enter the Southern Mountain Range alone, Gan Fei said in a low voice. If that's the case, then we can only wait here? Wang Bai said in a low voice. That's the only way. I hope nothing happened to the Holy Master. Otherwise, we won't be able to answer to the Heavenly Court and face the people of the Heavenly Court, Xiahou said with a sigh. When Murong Yu entered the Southern Mountain Range, he was still a little scared at the beginning. However, after half a day, he relaxed. He hadn't reached the Immortal King realm yet. He shouldn't be killed in the Southern Mountain Range. Moreover, if the person who had acted in the dark wanted to attack, he wouldn't be able to stop it. Black Lotus, sense the surroundings for me. If there's any danger, inform me immediately, Morong Yu said to Black Lotus through voice transmission. Black Lotus's grasp of the spatial laws was much stronger than Morong Yu's. If someone wanted to attack Morong Yu, Black Lotus would be able to sense the fluctuation of energy. As long as Morong Yu was given some time, he would be able to enter the Hichu Luoshu world. If the other party was so strong that they could kill Morong Yu in the Hichu Luoshu world, Morong Yu would accept it. After relaxing, Morong Yu began to walk in the southern mountain range. He spread out his enormous divine consciousness and sensed everything around him. However, when he walked through the entire southern mountain range alone, he didn't find anything. My strength still can't attract the expert's attention. Morong Yu smiled helplessly. He didn't know if he was mocking himself or rejoicing. I didn't find anything, but the other party must be in the southern mountain range. However, how can I lure him out and even talk to him? Morong Yu muttered to himself. Then, he sat on top of a high mountain and spread out his divine consciousness and divine consciousness. I hope that the expert can hear me, Morong Yu muttered to himself and began to call out in his heart, Hello Senior, I'm Morong Yu. I'm the Holy Lord of Shenzhen, the actual controller of the Celestial Palace. If you can hear me, please come out. I have something to discuss with you. Morong Yu began to call out to the expert in his heart. However, after a long time, there was still no response. Morong Yu, on the other hand, didn't stop calling out. Morong Yu knew that if the other party was really an immortal master, he would be able to hear Morong Yu's call. Although the southern mountain range was huge, it wasn't a problem for an expert's divine consciousness to cover the entire southern mountain range. Of course, this referred to the expert in the dark. The divine consciousness of the people outside, even if they were immortal masters, would be greatly suppressed in the southern mountain range. Otherwise, the existence of Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace would have been discovered long ago. Most importantly, if the divine consciousness of the outside world entered the southern mountain range, the expert in the southern mountain range would also take action and destroy that divine consciousness. Senior, you may be the remnant soul of an expert from the Phantom sect in the Antiquity Age, who has been silently guarding the southern mountain range for many years. However, the southern mountain range is a good place after all. I'm going to build Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace in the southern mountain range. Do you have any objections? If you don't say anything, it means that you don't have any objections. However, I'm still a little worried. Will there be an expert above the 9 heavens Xian, immortal realm in Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace? If it's possible, please say something. I'm very sorry about what happened to the Phantom sect. If it's possible, when I'm strong enough, when Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace are strong enough, perhaps we'll help you take revenge. But now I'm very weak and Shenzhen isn't strong either. If you agree to let Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace continue to develop in the southern mountain range, I promise that if I have the ability, I'll definitely take revenge for the Phantom sect. Morong Yu's mouth was dry from speaking, but the expert in the dark in the southern mountain range did not utter a word. This made Morong Yu feel helpless. The other party was definitely in the southern mountain range, and Morong Yu was even sure that the other party must have heard what he said. However, the other party did not come out, and Morong Yu was helpless. Great God, what do you mean? Are you going to stay in the southern mountain range all day long? Even if you're strong, can you guarantee that you'll continue like this? If you continue like this, even if you can protect the southern mountain range, you won't be able to change the fact that the Phantom sect has been exterminated. If you're willing, I can help you take revenge. This is an opportunity, and there may not be another chance like this in the future. Senior, if you don't say anything, I can only move Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace away from the southern mountain range, Morong Yu said in a low voice. Although the environment in the southern mountain range was very good, if there was no expert above the level of a 9 heavens Xian immortal, then even if the environment was 100 times better, it would still be nonsense. Moreover, although there was a place that was not as good as the southern mountain range, it was not much worse. Jiangzhou, the Celestial Palace. You're too weak to help the Phantom Sect, but Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace can develop here, and I won't interfere. However, you have to promise that when you're strong enough, you'll take revenge for the Phantom Sect. Just as Murong Yu was about to give up, a mental wave suddenly came over, and then a low voice sounded in Murong Yu's mind. Senior, is it really you? Is what you said true? Murong Yu was instantly excited. Yes, Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace are developing in the southern mountain range. Junior, have you practiced the army character formula? Murong Yu's body shook violently, and his expression changed instantly. The army character formula was the same as the Hichu Luoshu and the Celestial Punishment Order. It was the most powerful existence in the world. If someone found out that he had the Buddhist incantation of 9 words, together with the Hichu Luoshu, Murong Yu believed that the Celestial Palace would no longer care about the Celestial Punishment Palace, and would immediately attack him. Moreover, the Celestial Punishment Palace would also attack Murong Yu. When the Buddhist incantation of 9 words was comprehended to an extremely profound level, one could comprehend the mysteries of the world, and reach a height that had never been reached before. This point alone was enough to make countless people crazy. The Phantom Sect was wiped out because of the army character formula. The voice sighed deeply, and Murong Yu was so shocked that he almost jumped up. The Phantom Sect really practiced the army character formula. Murong Yu was inexplicably shocked. Chapter 658. The Phantom Sect was good at speed and was very powerful, but in the end it was still exterminated. It was said that no one in the entire sect escaped. A long time ago, Murong Yu had suspected that the Mirage Sect's cultivation technique was the soldier formula. Moreover, the skeleton in the forbidden area of the Demon Mountain should also be from the Phantom Sect. As for whether it was the Phantom Immortal Emperor or not, Murong Yu was not sure. At this moment, when he heard that the expert in the dark said that he cultivated the army character formula, Murong Yu was immediately shocked. But he was also sure that the Phantom Sect cultivated the army character formula. However, what puzzled Murong Yu was that the army character formula was not something that everyone could cultivate. It was impossible that everyone in the Phantom Sect cultivated the army character formula. Senior, everyone in the Phantom Sect cultivated the army character formula? That's impossible, right? Murong Yu immediately asked his doubts. The Phantom Sect cultivates a cultivation method derived from the Bing character formula. Junior, you also cultivated the army character formula. From this point, you have a certain relationship with the Phantom Sect. Because of this, I warn you, don't casually reveal the army character formula. Otherwise, you won't have long to live. The Phantom Sect was exterminated because of this. The voice was full of vicissitudes and endless anger. Obviously, even though countless years had passed, the other party still held a grudge against the extermination of the Phantom Sect and could not let go of this matter. However, if it was Murong Yu, he would also hold a grudge. Senior, you should be from the Phantom Sect. You are very powerful. But I have a question. Why don't you leave the South Mountain? With your strength, can you avenge the Phantom Sect? Murong Yu said in a deep voice. Avenge? Easier said than done. The voice full of vicissitudes of life rang in Murong Yu's mind after a long time. Murong Yu was shocked. This expert was very powerful and was already an immortal venerable. If he said so, then didn't it mean that the one who exterminated the Phantom Sect was not from the immortal realm? Most likely it was a god? God. Murong Yu couldn't help but gasp at the thought that the other party might be a god. Murong Yu had never seen a god before, but he should have heard of one before, right? The difference between gods and immortals was the difference between immortals and mortals. Even the trashiest god could easily kill an immortal venerable without any pressure. In front of God, immortals were like newborn babies. This was the difference between them. Junior, although you have a certain relationship with the Phantom sect, I do not wish for you to get involved in this matter. It won't do you any good. The other party's voice rang in Murong Yu's ears. Murong Yu shook his head and smiled bitterly. He was probably already involved in this matter. Since he had practiced the army formula and built Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace on the Nanling Mountains, he had had a vague relationship with the Phantom sect. It was impossible to break away from this relationship. Well, now I've provoked an even more powerful enemy. Murong Yu thought helplessly. However, this was only a possibility. Perhaps all the enemies of the Phantom sect were already dead. Senior, in this case, there shouldn't be a problem for Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace to develop in the Nanling Mountains, right? Will you deal with my people in the future? Murong Yu asked in a low voice. He had to confirm this matter. I won't get involved in this matter. After today, you are you and I am me. We will act as if we have never met. In the future, the Nanling Mountains will still be the Nanling Mountains of the past. At this point, Murong Yu felt that the hidden expert's spiritual sense had retreated. Senior? Senior? Murong Yu called out a few more times. However, after half a day, the expert's spiritual fluctuation did not appear again. Murong Yu rolled his eyes. He still had many things he had not asked. He did not even know how to address this expert. However, it was obvious that the expert had retreated. Murong Yu continued to call out for a long time without receiving any response. The Nanling Mountains will still be the Nanling Mountains, but it will no longer be the Nanling Mountains. Murong Yu shouted for a long time without any response. Now, Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace could develop in the Nanling Mountains. They did not have to worry about being obliterated if an expert of the Immortal King realm appeared. The expert in the Nanling Mountains would still obliterate experts who trespassed in the Nanling Mountains. In other words, from today onwards, Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace would have an expert of the Immortal Venerable Realm as a protector. With this expert, Shenzhen and the Celestial Palace would not be in any danger. There will be plenty of time in the future to find out the identity of this senior. However, I've already accomplished my goal. A smile appeared on Murong Yu's face as he shot out of the southern ridge. Holy Lord! When they saw Murong Yu's figure, Xiaohua and the others finally relaxed. Holy Lord, you scared us to death, Wang Bai said with a smile. I don't think you're that cowardly. Moreover, I'm just a little 9 heavens Xian immortal. He didn't even appear, Murong Yu said with a faint smile. After settling the matter with Shenzhen, he was very happy. Let's return to the heavenly court, Murong Yu said indifferently. Then, he soared into the sky and shot toward the Nanling Mountain city. Holy Lord, have you settled your matter? Xiaohua caught up and asked in a deep voice. It's not like you didn't see it. Even the immortal emperor was killed in one strike. How am I supposed to settle this matter? Murong Yu said with a helpless expression. That's true. Xiaohua and the others smiled awkwardly. After returning to the Nanling Mountain city, Murong Yu and the others began to teleport. It didn't take long for them to return to the Feng province. Holy Lord, something seems to be wrong. The atmosphere in Feng City seems to be tense and somber, Xiaohua said with a frown when Murong Yu and the others approached the heavenly court. Gan Fei and the others also frowned. Did something happen to the heavenly court? Wang Bai said in a deep voice. Although the current Feng City looked almost the same as before, it was still the same. However, who were Murong Yu and the others? Even if there was a slight change in Feng City, they would have noticed it. Something might have happened to the heavenly court. Let's go back and take a look. Murong Yu had a bad feeling. Currently, Black Tiger and the others were still breaking through in the Hichu Luoshu world. Li Su and the others had just started to manage the heavenly court. It didn't seem to be a simple coincidence that something happened at this time. In the heavenly court, Li Su, the little ape king, and the little lion king gathered together with an ugly expression. Motherf *cur, these bastards. If it were up to me, we would have just killed them, the little ape king cursed. With the heavenly court's current strength, killing them isn't a problem. But how are we going to fight the power behind them? The heavenly court may be strong, but we are no match for the power behind them. Our heavenly court can't even withstand a single blow, Li Su said with an ugly expression. However, anyone with a discerning eye could see that he was suppressing his anger. What should we do? Do we have to wait for Morong to return? The little Lion King said in a deep voice. This incident happened in the heavenly court. Not only did it cause the heavenly court to suffer heavy losses, it was also an absolute blow to them. After all, this happened when they just took over the heavenly court. It had a bad impact on them. Li Su, all of you come to the main hall. At this moment, Morong Yu's voice sounded in their minds. Morong is back. Li Su and the others were overjoyed. They immediately flew to the main hall. In the main hall, Morong Yu sat with a gloomy expression. Xiahou Zhua and the other two were in the main hall, as well as Li Su and the other two. There were a total of 6 people. Sacred Master. Li Su and the others bowed to Morong Yu. In private, they were friends, but in public, they called him Sacred Master. Li Su, I want to know what happened. Morong Yu looked at Li Su and said indifferently. Sacred Master, ever since you left the Feng province, our heavenly court's experts have been attacked. So far, we have already lost 20 immortal kings, 3 immortal monarchs, and even an immortal emperor who was heavily injured by a sneak attack. Bastard! Xiahou Zhua couldn't help but shout angrily when he heard Li Su's words. Gan Fei and the other two were also greatly enraged. Morong Yu's expression darkened. A cold light flashed between his brows. Very good. You dare to extend your claws into the heavenly court. Very good. Morong Yu sneered. Boundless killing intent surged. 20 immortal kings and 3 immortal monarchs weren't much of a loss to the heavenly court. However, how long had it been? If this continued, more and more of the heavenly court's experts would die. In the long run, who would dare to join the heavenly court? Even those who had already joined the heavenly court would probably leave. After all, no one wanted to be killed. Have you found out who did it? Morong Yu's eyes flashed coldly. The demonic sex Gong family. Li Su hesitated but still said. What a Gong family! They're courting death. Morong Yu flew into a rage. Xiahou Zhua and the others' expressions darkened. The demonic sex Gong family was an extremely terrifying enemy. The demonic sect, one of the 3 giants of the immortal world, actually attacked the heavenly court. Sacred Master, why did the demonic sex Gong family attack us? Xiahou Zhua asked in a low voice. A few years ago, I killed some people from the Gong family. Morong Yu said indifferently. However, Xiahou Zhua and the others felt the terrifying killing intent hidden under Morong Yu's calmness. Xiahou Zhua and the others were startled when they heard Morong Yu's words. Then, they admired Morong Yu. Sacred Master, you're strong. Sacred Master, what should we do? If we don't do anything, I'm afraid the Gong family will take advantage of us. Li Su said in a low voice. We'll do whatever they do. Since they dared to touch the heavenly court, they'll pay with their blood. Morong Yu's eyes flashed with killing intent. He stood up from his seat and said in a low voice, Lead the way. I want to see who's so audacious. Chapter 659. Holy Lord, it's right in front. Li Su led Morong Yu and the others to one of the manors in Feng City. The manor was neither big nor small. It was about 10,000 square meters. When Morong Yu arrived, he could feel a powerful aura inside. Looking over, Morong Yu could see a black aura rising from the manor. The black chi was the black halo around the villains. Although the black halos of ordinary evil men were very obvious, they only covered the surface of their bodies. Very rarely did the black halos extend so far out of their bodies like this. There was only one possibility for such a situation. These villains had extremely high stars. Are all the people from the Gong family of the devil sect inside? Murong Yu looked at the manor and asked with a gloomy face. Some of them shouldn't be here. Are we going to wait for them to come back before taking action? Li Su turned to look at Murong Yu with excitement. Murong Yu shook his head and said, Xiahou, destroy this manor. If the people from the devil sect come out, kill them without mercy. Yes. Xiahou responded and then took out the golden brick in his hand. The brick quickly enlarged like a divine mountain. Then, under Xiahou's control, it smashed down on the Gong family's manor. Rumble, after an earth-shattering sound, the entire manor was smashed into powder by the brick. However, the golden brick did not contain much power. Therefore, only a few unlucky people were killed. As for the others, they had already soared into the sky. That bastard dares to attack the Gong family's manor? A furious voice was heard. At the same time, those who soared into the sky flew toward Murong Yu with murderous intent. How dare you fly in front of the Holy Lord? Get down here! Before these people could get close to Murong Yu's group, Xiahou roared and threw out the brick again. However, unlike the previous time when the Gong family's manor was destroyed, the golden brick this time carried a terrifying power. Bang! 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 There weren't many people from the Gong clan here, only a few dozen of them. Other than one immortal emperor, there were only 2 immortal monarchs. The rest were all immortals below the immortal monarch. Evidently, those people were simply unable to withstand Xiahou's imperial armament. In fact, before the imperial armaments even landed, many of them had already been killed and exploded into clouds of bloody mist. The Gong clan's immortal emperor's eyes flashed with ruthlessness and was about to attack. However, before that, the immortal emperors of the heavenly court made their move. Xiahou and Gan Fei weren't the only immortal emperors from the heavenly court. There were a total of 5 experts from the heavenly court. This was an immortal emperor of the heavenly court. With 5 immortal emperors attacking at the same time, the immortal emperor expert from the Gong clan was doomed. He didn't even have a chance to make a move before he was suppressed by Xiahou and the others. In the end, Xiahou even smashed him with a brick. Master of the heavenly court, why did you attack our Gong family's property and kill our people? Do you think the heavenly court can wantonly kill people in Feng City? Although Gong Jin was suppressed, his ability to speak was not restricted. At this time, he roared loudly. A cold glint flashed through Murong Yu's eyes. This Gong Jin wasn't simple. Not only did he question Murong Yu, but he also wanted to drive a wedge between the heavenly court and the ordinary immortals in Feng City. Li Su. Murong Yu looked at Gong Jin indifferently, then turned to Li Su. Li Su nodded and took a step forward. Gong Jin, you led a sneak attack and killed several immortal kings and immortal monarchs of the heavenly court. According to the law, you should be executed. Murong Yu, I'm from the Gong clan of the demonic sect. How dare you touch me? You're courting death. Gong Jin sneered disdainfully at Li Su's words. However, when he saw the cold glint in Murong Yu's eyes, his heart couldn't help but tremble. However, he believed that Murong Yu wouldn't dare touch him. The demonic sect is one of the 3 giants of the immortal world. The Gong clan is one of the most powerful factions in the demonic sect. Murong Yu looked at Gong Jin and said indifferently. Gong Jin looked arrogant and struggled to his feet. He looked at Murong Yu and sneered. Master of the heavenly court, if you compensate us with a manor, an imperial weapon, 100 monarch weapons, and 10,000 ninth-grade immortal meridians, I won't pursue this matter. Hearing Gong Jin's words, Li Su and the others revealed looks of surprise. Seeing Murong Yu and the others' reactions, Gong Jin assumed that Murong Yu was afraid. He continued, Hurry up and prepare them for me. I don't have time to talk nonsense with you. My time is precious. Murong Yu suddenly smiled. Xiahou, did you hear that? They want us to compensate with an imperial weapon. You're the only one who has an imperial weapon here. I'll leave it to you to decide. Gong Jin's eyes lit up with excitement. Although he didn't like Xiaohua's brick, it was still an imperial weapon. However, it was an imperial weapon after all. If he had an imperial weapon, he would be even more powerful. Upon hearing Murong Yu's words, the surrounding people all looked at him in confusion. Some even felt that he was being too weak. He was the master of the heavenly court after all. If he gave out an imperial weapon just because Gong Jin said a few words, where would the dignity of the heavenly court go? What was the point of staying in a faction like this? Xiahou looked at Murong Yu bitterly. Sacred Master, please don't. Stop talking nonsense. Just give it to me. Murong Yu glared at Xiahou. Okay. Xiahou weakly replied. He then threw the brick in his hand. You're Gong Jin, right? I'll give you the brick. Catch it. Gong Jin was overjoyed. He didn't expect to get an imperial weapon just because he said a few words. Thus, he reached out his hand and grabbed the brick. However, his expression changed very quickly. Murong Yu, just as Gong Jin stretched out his large hand to grab the brick rapidly enlarged. At the same time, the brick exploded with a dazzling golden light like the sun. A terrifying aura emanated from the golden brick and swept out in all directions. With a swoosh, the golden brick turned into a ray of golden light. It tore through the endless space and smashed onto Gong Jin's body. Although Gong Jin was also an immortal emperor expert, he was suppressed and couldn't use his strength at all. When the golden brick smashed onto his body, he couldn't resist at all. He was smashed into a bloody mist by the golden brick. Poor Gong Jin. After all, he was an immortal emperor expert. But now, he had died in such an unjust manner. **T, there's an accident. I just got this golden brick and haven't refined it completely. Sometimes it doesn't listen to me. Now, he had accidentally killed another immortal emperor. Holy Lord, you won't blame me for this, right? Xiahou took back the golden brick with a look of regret. Murong Yu's expression changed drastically. He looked at Xiahou with a gloomy face. Xiahou, you killed an immortal emperor? And an immortal emperor from the demonic sex Gong family? You're in big trouble. Although it was an accident, you have to be punished for your mistake. When we go back, you'll be punished for 10 breaths of time. Xiaohua's face was bitter. It was an accident. Holy Lord, you can't punish me. 20 breaths of time. Murong Yu glanced at Xiahou and said indifferently. At this moment, the onlookers would be idiots if they didn't realize what was going on. Why did he say it was an imperial weapon? Why did he say it was an accident? Murong Yu killed Gong Jin on purpose. The Lord of the Heavenly Court and Lord Xiaohua's acting skills are not bad. At first, I thought the Lord of the Heavenly Court was really going to give Gong Jin an imperial weapon. Someone said with a smile. Acting skills? What acting skills? I clearly heard the Lord of the Heavenly Court instruct Xiahou to give Gong Jin an imperial weapon. Didn't you hear Lord Xiahou say that it was purely an accident? An accident, understand? An accident, it really was an accident. The onlookers revealed a knowing look. Holy Lord, there should be other experts in the Gong family. Before Li Su could finish his words, an angry shout was heard. Bastard, who attacked the Gong family manor? When the voice was heard, an extremely terrifying aura swept over from afar. Everywhere it passed, the suppressive void shattered. Gong Yuan. Murong Yu's eyes flashed coldly. He then transmitted his voice. Attack with all your might and kill him for me. Rumble. At the same time Murong Yu transmitted his voice, 10 extremely terrifying auras exploded in Feng City. 10 immortal emperors. Gong Yuan, who was flying towards Feng City, was shocked. 10 immortal emperors. I'm far from being a match for them. Bastards, I'll definitely destroy you. Gong Yuan roared in his heart. His figure flashed, and he turned to flee. This guy actually fled without a fight. Chi. However, just as he turned to flee, a blinding sword light slashed out from the void in front of him. It continued to attack Gong Yuan at a terrifying speed. Gong Yuan was shocked. At this time, it was too late for him to escape. Die! Gong Yuan roared. He fiercely slapped out at the incoming sword light. Boom! After an earth-shattering explosion, the dazzling sword light was shattered by Gong Yuan's slap. However, the power of Gong Yuan's slap also dissipated between heaven and earth. At the same time, Gong Yuan's figure also stopped in the void. In that split second, 10 terrifying attacks tore through the void and came crashing down. These were the strongest attacks of 10 immortal emperors. Even if Gong Yuan was several times stronger, if he was hit by them, he would be instantly turned into dust. Chapter 660. Gong Yuan turned pale with fright. Just as the 10 terrifying attacks were about to hit him, boom! Suddenly, a terrifying aura erupted from his body. The aura was so strong that it was comparable to an immortal emperor's. At the same time, a green light erupted and formed a protective shield that enveloped Gong Yuan. An emperor weapon-grade defensive treasure. The immortal emperors of the heavenly court, including Murong, couldn't help but exclaim when they saw the green light shield. Rumble! The moment the green light shield appeared, 10 extremely terrifying forces bombarded the green light shield fiercely. After a deafening explosion, the green light shield shook violently. However, it didn't shatter. One could imagine how terrifying the green light shield's defensive power was. However, even though the green light shield didn't shatter, Gong Yuan felt a sweet taste in his throat. He couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The green light shield had an extremely strong defensive power. However, it consumed its owner's energy. Although it blocked the attacks of Xiahou Zhuo and the others, it couldn't dissipate all of the attacks. Naturally, Gong Yuan had to bear the remaining attacks himself. Kill! Xiahou Zhuo and the others didn't need Murong Yu's instructions. After the first attack failed to kill Gong Yuan, they attacked again. Boom! 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 Streams of energy continued to bombard the green shield around Gong Yuan's body. The terrifying energy caused Gong Yuan, who was inside the green shield, to spit out blood. At this moment, Gong Yuan's heart was burning with rage. He wanted to escape, but there were 10 immortal emperors on the heavenly court's side. He had no chance at all. As the waves of attacks came crashing down, Gong Yuan could only passively endure their attacks. Although he was strong, how could he be a match for Xiahou Zhuo and the others? If it wasn't for the protection of the green barrier, Gong Yuan would have been killed. Die! Xiahou Zhuo roared. He took out the golden brick and slammed it on the green light shield. Puff! The green light shield trembled violently but didn't shatter. However, Gong Yuan spat out a mouthful of blood from within the green barrier. His injuries were even more severe. Gong Yuan was already heavily injured. Don't let him leave Feng City. Murong Yu's faint voice rang in the ears of Xiahou Zhuo and the other immortal emperors. Hearing Murong Yu's words, Xiahou Zhuo and the others attacked even more fiercely. Heavenly Court. Gong Yuan's eyes were filled with killing intent, and his heart was burning with rage. However, what made him want to vomit blood was that the attacks he suffered were too terrifying. He didn't even have the chance to speak. Rumble, even though Gong Yuan was an immortal emperor and had a defensive treasure on the level of an immortal emperor, how could he withstand the simultaneous attacks of 11 immortal emperors from the heavenly court? In the beginning, only the 10 immortal emperors from the heavenly court took action, but later on, Ming-Ji joined in and stopped the fleeing Gong Yuan. Therefore, Gong Yuan was now challenging 11 immortal emperors of the heavenly court. Of course, it could also be said that the 11 experts of the heavenly court ganged up on Gong Yuan. Crack! Under the frenzied attacks of the 11 immortal emperors, Gong Yuan's shield suddenly emitted a faint sound. Immediately after, Murong Yu and the others saw a crack appear on the cyan barrier around his body. Under the frenzied attacks of Ming Ji and the others, more and more cracks appeared and soon covered the entire green shield. Crack! After a crisp sound, the green shield finally shattered. The moment the green shield shattered, Gong Yuan spat out a mouthful of blood and his aura weakened significantly. On top of his original injuries, his injuries had become even more serious. However, this didn't stop Ming Ji and the others from attacking. Horrifying power continued to pour down. Without the protection of an immortal emperor weapon, Gong Yuan couldn't withstand the bombardment of so much power and was reduced to a bloody mist in the blink of an eye. Another immortal emperor was killed. Speaking of which, all of this happened in an instant. It was so short that Gong Yuan didn't even have time to speak. One could only imagine how short the time was and how ferocious Xiahou and the others' attacks were. What a waste of an immortal emperor weapon defensive treasure. Xiahou put away the brick with a look of regret. Xiahou wasn't the only one who felt this way. The others felt the same way. There weren't many immortal emperor weapons to begin with, and defensive ones were even rarer. If Gong Yuan didn't have this treasure, he would have been killed in an instant. However, because of this immortal emperor weapon, he managed to withstand the combined attacks of the 11 immortal emperors for a period of time. From this, one could easily imagine how important a defensive monarch artifact was. It was normal for Xiahou and the others to feel regretful. Everyone, I am Murong Yu, the master of the heavenly court. During this period of time, these villains have pretended to be members of the demonic sect's Gong family and ambushed the heavenly court's experts. They killed some of our experts in an attempt to frame the demonic sect and cause conflict between the heavenly court and the demonic sect. The demonic sect is one of the 3 giants of the immortal world. Why would they care about our puny heavenly court? The demonic sect, the immortal palace, and the sacred gate are all powerful. They definitely wouldn't do such a thing to our heavenly court. I think the demonic sect and the immortal palace would be happy to see our heavenly court continue to grow stronger. However, some people aren't necessarily as powerful as our heavenly court. Our heavenly court is a thorn in their side. These villains secretly took action, wanting to obliterate the heavenly court and even frame the demonic sect. It's quite shameless. The demonic sect and the immortal palace wouldn't be so shameless. Now we've successfully killed these villains, 2 immortal emperors. We've smashed their conspiracy. However, I know that there must be more such people in Feng City. Here, I warn these people, you'd better not have any ideas about the heavenly court. Otherwise, no matter who you are, you'll be killed. Those who offend the heavenly court will be killed, no matter how far away they are. Murong Yu's voice spread far and wide, ringing clearly in the ears of the people of Feng City. Those who offend the heavenly court will be killed, no matter how far away they are. Those who offend the heavenly court will be killed, no matter how far away they are. Not long after, many people in the heavenly court couldn't help but shout. Their voices were loud and clear, lasting for a long time. All right, everyone, disperse. Murong Yu's faint voice spread out, and then the people of the heavenly court stopped cheering. Li Su walked to Murong Yu's side, looking at Murong Yu with a face full of admiration, and said, "Holy Lord, you're powerful." It seemed that Murong Yu's few words had inspired the people of the heavenly court. However, Murong Yu's words contained a lot of content. First of all, he first gave the demonic sect and the others a high hat, saying that they wouldn't shamelessly attack the heavenly court. If the immortal palace and the demonic sect attacked the heavenly court, they would admit that they were shameless. In this way, the demonic sect and the immortal palace wouldn't openly attack the heavenly court. At least not for the time being. As for whether they would secretly attack, as long as they didn't openly attack the heavenly court, it would be fine. If they were to secretly make a move, Morong Yu would have directly killed them, just like what he did today. Secondly, Morong Yu denied the identities of Gong Yuan and the others. He directly arranged for them to be the ones who framed the heavenly court. In this way, even if the experts of the demonic sect and the Gong family were furious, they wouldn't dare to attack Morong Yu. If they attacked, it would mean that the demonic sect ordered Gong Yuan and the others to assassinate the heavenly court's expert. In this way, they would admit that the demonic sect was shameless. This was impossible for the demonic sect. Thirdly, Morong Yu also warned the people in the dark that if they attacked, they would end up like Gong Yuan and the others. In this way, not many people would dare to attack. At least for the time being, no one would try anything funny. Morong Yu only smiled faintly, then returned to the heavenly court with Li Su and the others. Bastard, you killed 2 of my Gong family's immortal emperors. You're courting death. In the demonic sect, in the main hall of the Gong family's headquarters, some experts of the Gong family gathered together, all of them filled with killing intent. The deaths of the 2 immortal emperors made them very angry. These were 2 immortal emperors, not 2 heavenly immortals. Even within the Gong family, losing 1 immortal emperor was a huge loss, let alone losing 2 at the same time. Moreover, Gong Yuan's status was not low. Morong Yu, the heavenly court, must die. All of the experts were filled with killing intent. They couldn't wait to slap Morong Yu to death and wipe out the heavenly court. Suddenly, the Gong family's patriarch, Gong Qing, who had been silent in the main hall, said in a deep voice, "Patriarch, just let it go? Then Gong Yuan and the others died for nothing? A small heavenly court killed our Gong family's people, and we're just going to let it go? If this matter spreads, our Gong family will be ridiculed." An immortal emperor said in confusion. Gong Yuan only acted on his own. If he could destroy Morong Yu and the heavenly court, we naturally wouldn't have any objections. However, the ones who were killed in the end were Gong Yuan and the others. Moreover, they were labeled as villains and framers. If we attack the heavenly court, we'll be admitting that we ordered Gong Yuan to attack the heavenly court. Gong Qing didn't say anything, but another immortal emperor spoke. The immortal emperor who spoke earlier frowned slightly and didn't say anything. However, we can't just let it go. The Gong family's dignity cannot be trampled on. Morong Yu must die and the heavenly court must be destroyed. On the surface, we don't need to do anything. However, we can't let Morong Yu go. At this moment, another immortal emperor said in a deep voice, "He's just a 9 heavens Xian immortal. As long as we kill him, it'll be easy to destroy the heavenly court." An immortal emperor sneered with disdain. "Morong Yu must die. I don't want the heavenly court to continue to exist. However, don't involve the Gong family in this matter, and don't involve the devil sect. As for the specifics, I believe you know what to do." Gong Qing said faintly, then his figure flashed and disappeared. Chapter 661. Although they had killed Gong Yuan and 2 other immortal emperors from the Gong family, the Gong family did not come looking for trouble. At least not on the surface. In the blink of an eye, decades had passed. For decades, the Gong family did not make a move. There was no other way. The heavenly court had completely controlled the Feng province. It was extremely difficult for them to make a move on the heavenly court. Moreover, the heavenly court was much stronger than it was a few decades ago. If the Gong family wanted revenge, they would have to kill some important people in the heavenly court. However, these important people were usually in the Feng city. They had no chance to make a move in the heavenly court. This was because the immortal emperors of the heavenly court were constantly monitoring the entire Feng city. As long as the heavenly court found something strange, the immortal emperors of the heavenly court would find out. Then, the immortal emperors of the heavenly court would pounce on the offender. Depending on the severity of the situation, they would either capture or kill the offender. Sacred Lord, the Mu family is here. Black Tiger hurried in and reported. Under the time acceleration, Black Tiger and the other 6 had successfully stepped into the immortal monarch realm 30 years ago. Black Tiger and the others respected Murong Yu even more because of this. Let them in, Murong Yu said faintly. However, he felt helpless in his heart. The Gong family was not completely settled yet, and the Mu family was here. Although Murong Yu was not as strong as the Devil Sect, it was still a superforce. It was very powerful. The person who came was a middle-aged man. He was about 34 or 35 years old. His strength was not very strong, but he had reached the immortal Emperor realm. Of course, on the surface, it was unknown how many billions of years old he was. Which immortal Emperor realm expert had not lived for hundreds of billions of years? I'm Muji. Greetings, Sacred Lord Murong. Muji walked in without any lack of manners. However, this was only on the surface. Just now, Murong Yu clearly saw a flash of disdain in Muji's eyes. Although it was very subtle, Murong Yu still noticed it. Murong Yu snorted in his heart. He looked at Muji and said, "Please take a seat." Muji thanked him and then sat down on the seat next to him. Holy Lord Murong, I actually came to the heavenly court to inquire about something, Muji said after sitting down. Oh? What's the matter? Murong Yu said indifferently. I wonder if Holy Lord Murong knows where the Mu family's old ancestor is? Muji asked in a deep voice as he looked at Murong Yu. At the same time, an obscure pressure emanated from his body and spread in all directions, crushing towards Murong Yu. Murong Yu's eyes flashed with anger. This Muji was too much. Did he want to use pressure to intimidate Murong Yu? Murong Yu sneered in his heart. With a thought, the space in front of him began to change. When the pressure that was sweeping over came into contact with this space, it was automatically transferred away. It could not exert any pressure on Murong Yu at all. Over the years, Murong Yu's strength had not been stagnant. At the very least, his comprehension of the law of space was deeper. Although it could not be compared to Black Lotus, it was much stronger than before. The Mu family's old ancestor? Mr. Murong, are you sure you're not wrong? It's said that the Mu family's old ancestor is an immortal venerable expert. What does that have to do with me? I'm just a mere 9 heavens Xian immortal. Murong Yu's face revealed a look of astonishment. His expression was one of utter astonishment. Muji snorted coldly. Holy Lord Murong, the old ancestor came to Feng City a few decades ago. Do you really not have any news about him? Murong Yu's face revealed a strange expression. Then, he suddenly realized something. Mr. Mu, could it be that your old ancestor had fallen during the heaven and earth anomaly a few decades ago? Muji's expression changed slightly, then he laughed. Fallen? The old ancestor is an immortal venerable expert. How could he have fallen? This time, the Mu family encountered some problems and needed the old ancestor's help. The old ancestor had gone to travel and could not be contacted at the moment. So, I came to see if Holy Lord Murong has any news about him. I thought the old ancestor of the Mu family had fallen. Murong Yu said faintly. In fact, he was secretly laughing in his heart. Since Holy Lord Murong has no news about the old ancestor, I won't disturb you any further. Goodbye. Muji stood up and was about to leave. I won't see you off. Murong Yu said faintly. He had no intention of getting up to see Muji off. Muji was inwardly annoyed when he saw this. In his opinion, although Murong Yu was the lord of the heavenly court was only a small force. Murong Yu was just a 9 heavens Xian immortal, so he did not care about him at all. By the way, Holy Lord Murong, our patriarch misses Liyue. If you have time, he hopes that Liyue will pay a visit to the Mu family. Muji stopped and said faintly when he reached the door. Murong Yu's expression did not change. Since Mu Lin knew about his relationship with Mu Liue, the rest of the Mu family naturally knew about it as well. However, at this time, Morong Yu would not let the Mu family know that Mu Liue was by his side. In this way, the Mu family would suspect that he had something to do with Mu Lin's death. "I won't see you off," Morong Yu said indifferently. Mu Ji snorted and quickly left the heavenly court. "The Mu family is still suspicious of me. I'm afraid I can't hide the fact that I left Feng City with Mu Lin for long," Morong Yu muttered to himself. When he left Feng City with Mu Lin for the Wonderland, although it was rather secretive, it was impossible for the Mu family not to find out if they investigated seriously. If the Mu family knew that they had entered the Wonderland gathering, they would definitely think that Morong Yu had killed Mu Lin. After all, with Morong Yu's current strength, he could not kill Mu Lin. However, if they were in the Wonderland, it would be possible. "I'm still not strong enough." Morong Yu shook his head and disappeared in a flash. Just like that, another few decades passed. In these few decades, Morong Yu's understanding of the spatial law had deepened. However, his strength did not break through and he was still in the Nine Heavens Xian immortal realm. 1,000 years is almost up. It's time to return to the Heavenly Punisher Palace to hand in the missions. When Morong Yu had joined the Heavenly Punisher Palace, he had received 3 missions with a time limit of 1,000 years. Morong Yu had already completed the first 2 missions. The last mission was to investigate the mysterious disappearance of the Palace Master of the Heavenly Punisher Palace in Feng City. Regarding this matter, Morong Yu guessed that the Branch Palace Master had entered the Immortal Land. However, he didn't have any proof. As for the reorganization of the Feng City branch, Morong Yu had already exceeded his expectations. With a flash, Morong Yu disappeared from Feng City. When he reappeared, he was already in his manor in the Heavenly Punisher Palace. "Steward, has anything happened in these years?" After Morong Yu returned, he did not immediately hand in the missions. Instead, he looked for Steward Ma. "Palace Master, the Heavenly Punisher Palace is still the same. However, many people in the Heavenly Punisher Palace have expressed a strong interest in the Heavenly Court's growing strength. I believe that soon, someone will come to find you, Palace Master," Steward Ma said respectfully. Morong Yu's eyes flashed with a cold light. "If these guys come to Feng City, I don't mind killing them. Palace Master, be careful. They are not from the Devil Sect or the Gong family. It's okay to kill them, but it's best not to kill anyone from the Heavenly Punisher Palace," Steward Ma warned. Morong Yu nodded. He knew a little about this. The forces within the Heavenly Punisher Palace were tangled and complicated. If Morong Yu killed the immortal emperors of some factions, those factions would most likely immediately attack him. By then, Morong Yu would not be their match. However, if these people really wanted to attack, Morong Yu was not afraid. "Steward, you said that nothing happened in the Heavenly Punisher Palace. Did something big happen outside?" Morong Yu asked with a smile. "Yes, the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet has appeared again," Steward Ma said solemnly. "Divine Rule Celestial Tablet?" Morong Yu exclaimed. Any immortal would know about the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet. The Divine Rule Celestial Tablet was a huge celestial tablet. This celestial tablet contained a God law. The so-called God law was God's law. If an immortal wanted to become a god, he must comprehend God's law. If he could not comprehend it, he could not become a god. There were countless immortals in the immortal world, but very few became gods. This was because God laws were very difficult to comprehend. However, God laws were recorded on the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet. If someone could comprehend a God law from the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet, they had the possibility of becoming a god. They could even become a god on the spot and ascend to the heavenly realm. It was not like this had never happened in history. Even if one's ability was not strong after comprehending a God law, their cultivation would be much easier in the future. In other words, no matter how strong or weak one was, as long as one could comprehend a god law, they could become a god in the future. Moreover, the probability of becoming a god was quite high. Moreover, other than god laws, the divine rule celestial tablet could increase one's ability, talent, and even change one's physique. In short, if one was lucky enough to encounter a divine rule celestial tablet and comprehend something, it would definitely be a great benefit. However, the divine rule celestial tablet was just too mysterious. After it appeared, it would only stay in one place for a while before disappearing again. When it appeared again, the time was uncertain. It could be a day later, or it could be 100 billion years later. Divine Rule Celestial Tablet. Murong Yu's eyes shone brightly. He looked a little excited. Steward Ma, where did the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet appear? How long has it been since it appeared? Murong Yu suppressed his excitement and asked in a low voice. About 20 years. It's at Heavenly Eagle Ridge, Steward Ma said respectfully. It's been 20 years since it appeared, but I didn't know anything about it. If I didn't return to the Heavenly Penalty Palace this time, I'm afraid I wouldn't have known at all. The Heavenly Court's intelligence needs to be strengthened, Murong Yu said to himself gloomily. Chapter 662. The Heavenly Eagle Ridge was the largest mountain range in the Heavenly Eagle State. It spanned across the entire Heavenly Eagle State and was connected to 2 other states. It was endless. One could imagine how long the Heavenly Eagle Ridge was. In reality, the Heavenly Eagle Ridge was many times larger than the South Ridge. However, the South Ridge was one of the most dangerous places in the celestial world. As for the Heavenly Eagle Ridge, although it was also filled with ferocious beasts, it was also a dangerous place. However, over the past 10 years, there had been a continuous stream of strong cultivators rushing over from all directions. The reason was because of the God Rule Heavenly Tablet that appeared in the Heavenly Eagle State 20 years ago. In front of the Heavenly Eagle Ridge, a group of 6 people was slowly walking over. When these 6 people walked over, countless people looked at them with surprised eyes. Of course, other than the 2 beauties, there were other reasons that attracted their attention. However, it should be the 2 beauties that attracted most of the attention. Apart from the 2 beauties, there was also a large black dog that attracted their attention. In reality, it was the little girl riding on the large black dog. The little girl was about 6 or 7 years old. She was pink and tender, and she looked very cute in her purple clothes. However, this was not what attracted their attention. What attracted their attention was that this little girl did not have any strength at all. She was like an ordinary little girl in the mortal world. One had to know that there was no such person in the celestial world. Even though they were newborns, their strength wasn't weak. Moreover, the stronger the parents were, the stronger their children would be when they were born. Of course, their children might not be strong, but they would definitely not be ordinary people. Ordinary people could not survive in the celestial world. Even weak cultivators could not survive in the celestial world. This was because the pressure in the celestial world was much stronger than that of the cultivation world. Weak cultivators might be crushed if they appeared in the celestial world. Woof! What are you looking at? Have you never seen such a handsome Lord Heavenly Dog? Sensing the strange gazes of the people around him, the large black dog barked at them unhappily. This group was Murong Yu and the others. After finding out that the God Rule Divine Tablet had appeared, Murong Yu had rushed over to the Heavenly Eagle State without even handing in his mission. However, this time, he only brought the large black dog and the others with him. He had never been to the Heavenly Eagle State before, so he could not directly teleport over. This was because the God Rule Celestial Tablet would appear at an indefinite time. If it appeared later, the God Rule Celestial Tablet might fly away. Murong Yu didn't want to lose this target. Therefore, he didn't go back to the Heavenly Court or Shenzhen to bring more people with him. even though Shenzhen and the Heavenly Penalty Palace were both in the Lingnan region. Zhao Jiqing, Yu Mengqing, the fiery-eyed golden ape, the large black dog, Little Purple, and the celestial emperor Xiaozhua. Almost all of them were people who were often by Murong Yu's side. Xiaozhua was now a permanent resident of the Hichu Luoshu world. It couldn't be helped. Murong Yu's strength was still a little low. Sometimes it was much more convenient to have a celestial emperor by his side. As for Mingji, he had only followed Murong Yu for 100,000 years, and wasn't a member of the Heavenly Court. There were some things that Murong Yu couldn't directly instruct him. As for Little Purple, she was often sleepy a while ago, and finally fell into a deep sleep. She woke up a few days ago. However, what made Murong Yu depressed was that after waking up, Little Purple was exactly the same as before. There was no change, and she would always look like a 6 or 7-year-old. The large black dog looked very fierce, but the people around him were all experts, so how could they be afraid of the large black dog? In fact, because of the large black dog's roar, many people frowned. Where did this dog come from? Why are you running and barking? Do you believe that I'll kill you and eat dog meat? A golden immortal said unkindly as he looked at the large black dog with a fierce glint in his eyes. You're courting death. The large black dog was instantly enraged. With a swoosh, the large black dog turned into a flash of light and pounced. The golden immortal who spoke earlier let out a scream. At this time, the people around him saw clearly that the golden immortal had been pressed to the ground by the large black dog's paw. What a fast speed! There were also experts around. After seeing the large black dog's speed, they couldn't help but exclaim. Just now they clearly saw the large black dog slap out with his paw, and the golden immortal fell. Boy, what did you just say? You want to eat Lord Heavenly Dog's meat? The large black dog's head came in front of the golden immortal and said in an unfriendly tone. In particular, with every word he said, the strength of his paw increased. Originally, the golden immortal was only pressed to the ground by the large black dog, but when the large black dog finished speaking, the golden immortal's entire body had been pressed deep into the ground. The golden immortal said with a face full of horror, No, Lord Heavenly Dog, you heard wrong. I didn't say anything like that. At this time, the golden immortal was inexplicably shocked. He was a golden immortal after all, but he was hit by the large black dog's paw. The large black dog's strength was definitely many times stronger than his. That was not the most important thing. The most important thing was that he felt the large black dog's killing intent. Little Black, stop playing. You'll be in trouble if Big Brother is unhappy. Little Purple, who was riding the large black dog, stretched out her small hand and patted the large black dog's head. Brat, Lord Heavenly Dog won't bicker with you today. The next time I see you, I'll swallow you whole, the large black dog threatened before running over to Murong Yu's side with Little Purple. Old Black, there are many experts here. Don't mess around. Murong Yu frowned slightly. Once the news of the appearance of the Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet spread, it would attract most of the people in the immortal world. Or even those old monsters. For people like Murong Yu, those celestial supremacies had a greater desire for the Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet. After all, if they could not break through, they could only wait for death. Murong Yu estimated that there would definitely be many celestial supremacies coming to the Heavenly Eagle Ridge this time. Murong Yu could not afford to offend such people now. If the large black dog messed around, there would be trouble. The large black dog's strength is not bad, but these people are not that strong. The surrounding people sized up Murong Yu as they quickly rushed to the Heavenly Eagle Ridge. Entering the Heavenly Eagle Ridge was the most important thing now. Therefore, not many people came to cause trouble. Why can people above the Celestial King stage enter, but those below the Celestial King stage have to pay 10,000 Celestial Spirit Pills to enter? Before Murong Yu and the others got close to the Heavenly Eagle Ridge, they saw a circle of people in front of the heavenly Eagle Ridge. Angry voices sounded one after another. Celestial kings and above can enter the heavenly Eagle Ridge freely. Those below the Celestial King stage have to pay 10,000 celestial spirit pills to enter the heavenly Eagle Ridge. A huge stone tablet stood in front of the heavenly Eagle Ridge. A few blood-red words were written on it, and they were full of killing intent. They were charging entrance fees. Murong Yu frowned slightly. This was because, apart from Xiahou, no one in their group had reached the Celestial King stage 10,000 celestial spirit pills? Why don't we rob them? Many people were furious. 10,000 celestial spirit pills was not a lot, but it was not a little either. To people like Murong Yu, it was naturally nothing more than a drizzle. However, to some people, 10,000 celestial spirit pills was really not worth it. In order to survive in this world, no matter what you did, you had to use celestial spirit pills and celestial meridians. Divine weapons, treasures, all kinds of resources, and even cultivation required celestial spirit pills. For some disciples of small sects or lone cultivators, 10,000 celestial spirit pills was a considerable amount of wealth. Even if they had them, they might not be willing to pay. If you can't pay celestial spirit pills without falling to the Celestial King stage, then scram. A few people stood there. At this moment, a person shouted impatiently. At the same time, a powerful aura erupted. Celestial Lord! Murong Yu's eyes flashed. Although this Celestial Lord had released his aura, he had no intention of harming anyone. However, this way the deterrence was enough. Some of the noisy people immediately quieted down. It's not only here that we can enter the heavenly Eagle Ridge. I can enter from other places too, a mystic immortal said unhappily. Now that the entire heavenly Eagle Ridge has been sealed, there are only two ways to enter the heavenly Eagle Ridge. Pay up or you're at the Celestial King stage, someone said with a cold smile. F***CK, which faction are these bastards from? They're so domineering. Do they think the heavenly Eagle Ridge is theirs? That person cursed unhappily. Shoo, I heard that this is the intention of those big shots. If too many people enter, it will be noisy and affect the situation, an immortal said in a low voice. Hearing this, Murong Yu nodded slightly. If the Divine Rule Divine Tablet existed for a long time, this news could not be sealed. At that time, most people in the entire celestial world would probably flock over. Although the heavenly Eagle Ridge was vast, the space near the Divine Rule Divine Tablet was limited. Once there were too many people would not be able to get close. Naturally, all kinds of fights would occur and affect the comprehension of others. Although this method of restricting people from entering the heavenly Eagle Ridge was not very kind, it was still a good idea. Let's go in. Murong Yu and the others pushed through the crowd and came to the stone tablet. After paying 70,000 celestial spirit pills, the big black dog also had to pay to enter. Although Xiahou wasn't Celestial Emperor, Murong Yu did not want him to reveal his strength for now. After all, 10,000 celestial spirit pills were dispensable to Murong Yu. After this incident with the Divine Rule Divine Tablet, they'll gather a terrifying amount of celestial spirit pills. This thought suddenly flashed through Murong Yu's mind. If he did not already have the heavenly punishment token, he would also be tempted by this opportunity to make money. Chapter 663. The Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet was deep within Heavenly Eagle Ridge. Normally, even immortal kings would not dare to enter the depths of Heavenly Eagle Ridge. This was because the ferocious beasts in Heavenly Eagle Ridge were too ferocious. There were many immortal emperor-level ferocious beasts. However, these ferocious beasts had long been chased away. Even if no one chased them away, these ferocious beasts would not dare to come out and cause trouble. Although they did not have any intelligence, there were too many powerhouses in Heavenly Eagle Ridge. Some of them even made immortal emperor-level ferocious beasts fear. When Murong Yu and the rest arrived at the depths of Heavenly Eagle Ridge, they were greeted by a sea of people. The Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet was a gigantic stone tablet. It stood between heaven and earth like a mountain peak. The stone tablet emitted a hazy white light. Under the illumination of the white light, the Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet vaguely revealed patterns that were filled with a mysterious aura. Mysterious, ancient, mysterious. This was the feeling that the Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet gave to Murong Yu. Murong Yu extended his divine telekinesis to get a clearer look. However, he was shocked to discover that before his divine telekinesis could even get close to the Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet, it automatically disappeared. It was not swallowed, nor was it severed. It just suddenly disappeared. Murong Yu frowned slightly. This situation was very rare. My divine telekinesis can't get close, Xiaohua, who was next to Murong Yu, said with a frown. I guess that's the case with the Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet. If you want to see the feeling, you can only see it with your eyes. Let's find a place first. Murong Yu scanned his surroundings and walked forward with Xiaohua and the rest. With the Divine Rule Heavenly Tablet as the center, the mountains that originally existed around it had been leveled. A gigantic square appeared. At this moment, the entire square was filled with people. After a quick glance, Murong Yu realized that there were no less than 100 billion people in the square. Most of the 100 billion immortals were powerhouses above the Immortal King realm. There were probably many immortal supremacy powerhouses as well. Furthermore, there were even more people pouring into the Heavenly Eagle Ridge behind them. If they were too slow, they might not even be able to enter the plaza, let alone get close to the Divine Rule Divine Tablet. At that moment, most of the plaza was already filled with people. The densely packed crowd was an extremely spectacular sight. There are so many people, we can only stay here. Murong Yu and Zhao Jiqing moved a little closer, just a little closer. There were so many people in front of them that they couldn't get any closer. Because in front of him, there wasn't even a place to step. There were spots in the sky, but who would dare to stand in the sky in such a situation, blocking other people's view? With so many experts here, if he blocked the view of most people, he would definitely be courting death. Let's stay here and see what we can get, Murong Yu said as Mu Liue and Mu Tong appeared beside him. Little man, what's going on? Even though Mu Liue had already reached the Immortal King realm, she was still taken aback by the sight of so many people. The Divine Rule Divine Tablet is in front. Murong Yu then sent some information directly to Mu Liue. Everyone, let's stay here and learn. Let's see what we can get, Murong Yu said with a smile. Everyone nodded. Seeing the Divine Rule Divine Tablet was definitely an opportunity for them. If they could learn something from the Divine Rule Divine Tablet, it would definitely be a great gain. Boom! At that moment, an immortal who was sitting cross-legged not far in front of Murong Yu suddenly erupted with a powerful aura. Haha! Immortal Duke! He's reached the Immortal Duke realm. When the powerful aura erupted, the experts' excited laughter was also heard. This person is so lucky. He was only a beginner Immortal King before. Now, he's reached the Immortal Duke realm. After seeing this scene, the surrounding people all looked at the Immortal Monarch expert with envious eyes. The Divine Rule Divine Tablet. He must have comprehended something from the Divine Rule Divine Tablet to be able to break through a major realm. The Divine Rule Divine Tablet is just like the legends. If you can comprehend something, your strength will skyrocket. Things like this have happened many times. The people around discussed and were very envious of the person who had broken through. However, they soon quieted down. They had to seize the time to comprehend something. Who knew if they would be the next one to comprehend something? Otherwise, once the Divine Rule Divine Tablet left, they would definitely regret it. Everyone, let's begin. If we can gain something, your strength might skyrocket. Murong Yu smiled slightly and sat down cross-legged. Zhao Jiqing and the rest also sat down excitedly and were surrounded by Murong Yu and the other guys. Although there were not many idiots here who did not want to cause trouble for the sake of comprehension, Murong Yu still had to do what was necessary. The huge divine rule divine tablet stood in the middle of the square like a divine mountain. Even at the back of the square, the divine rule divine tablet could be seen clearly. It was because of this that there was no commotion in the square. However, if they were late, they would naturally be at the back of the square. Apart from that, their divine telekinesis could also see the divine rule divine tablet. It was just that they could not get close to it. Murong Yu closed his eyes and very quickly relaxed himself, raising his state of mind to the limit. His huge divine telekinesis spread out and looked at the divine rule divine tablet, beginning to comprehend. Time continued to pass. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed. There were more and more people at the back. At this moment, the square had expanded countless times. Originally, Murong Yu and the rest were at the back of the square. However, now they were at the front of the square. It was not that Murong Yu had advanced a lot. In reality, the square had expanded countless times. Even so, the square was still expanding every day. When Murong Yu had arrived, there might only have been 100 billion immortals in the square. However, 10 years later, there were more than 1 trillion immortals near the divine rule divine tablet. It was very terrifying. At this moment, the people who collected tickets were probably tired of collecting money. However, this was not what Murong Yu cared about. He was still quietly trying to comprehend, but he had not gained anything. In these 10 years, many people in the square had more or less benefited from it. Those who had benefited inspired even more people to come, encouraging the people around them to work harder to comprehend. However, although there were people who had benefited, they were very, very few of them. Most of them did not gain anything. This included Murong Yu. However, no one was discouraged. As long as the divine rule divine tablet was still there, they had a chance to comprehend. As long as the divine rule divine tablet did not leave, they had hope. However, when would the divine rule divine tablet leave? Perhaps in the next moment or perhaps in 1,000,000 years, no one would know. Because of this, everyone who entered the heavenly Eagle Ridge was seriously trying to comprehend. No one would cause trouble. Even if their enemies encountered them, they would temporarily put aside their past hatred and enter a state of comprehension. Another 10 years had passed. Murong Yu and the rest still did not gain anything. However, on this day, Murong Yu felt a strange movement beside him. Murong Yu opened his eyes abruptly and looked at Zhao Jiqing beside him. The strange movement was coming from Zhao Jiqing. At this moment, faint red flames were emitting from Zhao Jiqing's body. If anyone saw these flames, they would know that these were not ordinary flames but Phoenix divine fire. Zhao Jiqing must have comprehended something from the divine rule divine tablet. A smile appeared on Murong Yu's face. Although he did not gain anything, he was happy as long as someone among them comprehended something. After all, if they gained something, it was equivalent to Murong Yu gaining something. Black Lotus, add a few space shields for Jiqing. Don't let anyone disturb her. It's best not to let anyone discover her strange movements and don't cut off her connection with the outside world, Murong Yu said to Black Lotus telepathically. Upon hearing this, Black Lotus immediately added a shield for Zhao Jiqing. At this moment, other than Murong Yu, no one else, including Xiahou Zhua and the others, could sense the changes in Zhao Jiqing's body. In the beginning, the Phoenix divine fire was very faint and very little. However, as time passed, the Phoenix divine fire on Zhao Jiqing's body increased. Gradually, the Phoenix divine fire burned on Zhao Jiqing's body. Soon, the endless Phoenix divine fire drowned Zhao Jiqing. Of course, although the Phoenix divine fire was terrifying, it would not hurt Zhao Jiqing. Morong Yu did not pay attention to Zhao Jiqing all the time. He continued to immerse himself in comprehending the divine rule divine tablet. If he did not gain anything from this trip, it would be too sad. Boom. Suddenly, the phoenix divine fire on Zhao Jiqing's body exploded violently. Endless divine light rushed out of her body and shot into the sky. With a bang, the space shield that Morong Yu had set up for Black Lotus was instantly shattered. At the same time, a huge fiery red phoenix shadow appeared above Zhao Jiqing's head. Clang! After the phoenix shadow appeared, there was a clear and loud cry. Oh no! The moment the space shield was shattered, Morong Yu had already reacted. At the same time, he immediately attacked and shot out waves of space energy. However, it was too late. Zhao Jiqing's strange phenomenon was too shocking. The moment the phoenix shadow appeared, it had already alerted many people around. The phoenix shadow? Is that the legendary phoenix? Many people were awakened by this strange phenomenon. Then, all of them looked in this direction with a surprised expression. They had seen many dragon shadows, but the phoenix shadow was extremely rare. However, it did not mean that they did not know that this was not the phoenix shadow. Clang! The phoenix shadow let out a clear and loud cry again. At the same time, Zhao Jiqing's aura began to grow stronger. Her cultivation level was rapidly breaking through. Chapter 664. Boom! After an earth-shattering explosion, the flames on Zhao Jiqing's body exploded and swept in all directions. This was the divine phoenix fire. Although it was not as terrifying as the yin-yang fire, once it exploded, many people would definitely be burned. Here, Yu Mengqing and the rest were beside Zhao Jiqing. There were even more people further away. Once the divine phoenix fire exploded, many people would definitely be injured or killed. Fortunately, Morong Yu was beside them. When the divine phoenix fire exploded, Morong Yu struck out waves of space power and immediately locked down the void. Although the divine phoenix fire was stronger, Morong Yu's Zai technique was not weak either. With the use of space power by Morong Yu, the divine phoenix fire was controlled within a certain range. Zhao Jiqing's realm was originally only at the late stage of the Nine Heavens mystic immortal realm. There was still a long way to go before she broke through to the late stage. However, at this moment, her realm was constantly increasing. She directly broke through the barrier between the Nine Heavens mystic immortal realm and the immortal king realm and reached the immortal king realm in one fell swoop. Seeing this, Morong Yu's eyes revealed a look of surprise. At the same time, Yu Mengqing and the rest were also pleasantly surprised. However, the rest of the people had all sorts of reactions. It's actually the shadow of the phoenix. Did she obtain the inheritance of the phoenix tribe? Or does she have the bloodline of the phoenix? When the shadow of the phoenix appeared, everyone in the square immediately noticed it. After all, although there were more than 1 trillion people in the square, which one of them was not a powerhouse? As long as there was something strange, they would quickly notice. Moreover, Zhao Jiqing had caused such a huge commotion. The bloodline of the phoenix, the inheritance of the phoenix tribe. This woman is extremely talented. Some powerhouses revealed a look of joy. She actually broke through to the immortal king realm directly. She must have comprehended something from the god rule celestial steel. Looks like I have to hurry. This was what most people thought. Those who had such thoughts were only attracted by the commotion caused by Zhao Jiqing. Then, they continued to ponder. However, there were more than 1 trillion people. Of course, this was not the only thought they had. This woman actually managed to comprehend something from the divine rule celestial tablet and broke through directly. She even obtained the inheritance of the phoenix. If they can combine through dual cultivation, the bloodline of future generations. Some people looked at Zhao Jiqing and began to have ideas about Zhao Jiqing. Not bad. You are starting to break through to the intermediate immortal king realm. Murong Yu looked at Zhao Jiqing, who was in the midst of breaking through, and his face was filled with smiles. After breaking through to the Immortal King realm, Zhao Jiqing didn't immediately stop. Her cultivation level was still rising steadily. From the looks of it, he can break through to the mid-stage Immortal King stage. He might even be able to break through to the late-stage Immortal King stage. Xiahou Zhuo smiled. As for Yu Mengqing and the others, they were not strong enough. They only knew that Zhao Jiqing had broken through, but they could not see the details. Crack! A loud sound rang out from Zhao Jiqing's body. Zhao Jiqing's cultivation had already broken through to the intermediate Immortal King realm. She's still breaking through? Murong Yu's face revealed a look of surprise. This was because he saw that Zhao Jiqing still hadn't stopped after breaking through to the intermediate Immortal King realm. However, the speed of her breakthrough had slowed down. Sacred Lord, it seems that there's a lot of commotion this time. It seems that many people want to take advantage of you. Xiahou Zhuo frowned slightly and transmitted his voice to Murong Yu. This was because at this moment, many divine consciousnesses were probing over. However, due to the spatial rules, they were blocked and couldn't enter. A cold light flashed across Murong Yu's eyes. They'd better not have any ideas. Otherwise, they'll be courting death. Xiahou Zhuo, you don't have to worry about this for now. Go and comprehend. If you comprehend something, you might directly usher in the divine tribulation and ascend to the heaven realm. Xiahou Zhuo rolled his eyes and looked at Murong Yu speechlessly. Sacred Lord, if only it was as easy as you said. Although it's said that people in the Immortal Emperor realm can usher in the divine tribulation, I don't think they're that lucky. However, despite saying this, Xiahou Zhuo still went to comprehend. What Murong Yu said wasn't impossible. Perhaps Xiahou Zhuo was really that lucky person? In the immortal world, as long as one reached the Immortal Emperor realm, there was a possibility of ushering in the divine tribulation. Becoming a god in the immortal world was different from the cultivation world. First, one had to undergo tribulation and then undergo transformation. In the immortal world, as long as one reached the late Immortal Emperor realm, there was a possibility of ushering in the divine tribulation. As long as one succeeded in overcoming the tribulation, one could ascend to become a god. Of course, if one couldn't sense the divine tribulation in the late Immortal Emperor realm, there was still hope. After reaching the late Immortal Venerable realm, there was still a chance. Late Immortal Emperor realm could sense the divine tribulation. If there was a divine tribulation, one could either become a god or turn into ashes. However, if one couldn't sense the divine tribulation, one could only enter the Immortal Venerable realm. What was the difference between the divine tribulation in the late Immortal Emperor realm and the late Immortal Venerable realm? If they succeeded in overcoming the divine tribulation, would their achievements be the same? There was a huge difference after becoming a god in two different realms. If one could sense the divine tribulation in the Immortal Emperor realm and successfully overcome the divine tribulation, then after becoming a god, he would only be the lowest of the gods. Deity. As for the Immortal Reverend realm, only those who underwent the tribulation to become gods could directly cross over the deity realm and reach a higher realm, the true god realm. Then, some people had doubts. Since there was such a huge difference, wouldn't it be better for everyone to cultivate to the Immortal Venerable realm before undergoing the divine tribulation? That wasn't the case. One had to know that the divine tribulation wasn't something that would appear just because you said so. You might be able to sense the divine tribulation in the Immortal Emperor realm, but you gave up that opportunity and didn't undergo the divine tribulation. Instead, you entered the Immortal Venerable realm. However, you might not be able to sense the divine tribulation in the Immortal Venerable realm. If you couldn't sense the divine tribulation, then you only had one era left. Moreover, the divine tribulation in the Immortal Emperor realm and Immortal Venerable realm was different. Relatively speaking, the divine tribulation in the immortal Emperor realm wasn't as powerful. However, the divine tribulation in the immortal Venerable realm was extremely terrifying. Of course, whether it was the immortal Emperor realm or the immortal Venerable realm, the divine tribulation was extremely terrifying. It was just that the divine tribulation in the immortal Emperor realm wasn't that terrifying. Therefore, in the immortal world, if one sensed the divine tribulation in the immortal Emperor realm, most of them would directly undergo the divine tribulation. Although becoming a deity like this would only make one a deity of the lowest level, one's strength could be slowly cultivated. If one gave up this opportunity, then perhaps there wouldn't be another one. But even so, in the immortal world, there were only a few people who successfully ascended to deity realm, late immortal king realm. Murong Yu looked at Zhao Jiqing with a smile on his face. Zhao Jiqing had already broken through to the late immortal king realm. After directly crossing a large realm, her growth in strength finally slowed down. Directly breaking through 3 small realms was already very shocking. If Zhao Jiqing directly broke through from the 9 Heaven Xian immortal realm to the immortal monarch realm, this wouldn't just be shocking. Instead, she would be captured by many people as a monster to be studied. Moreover, that might not be a good thing for Zhao Jiqing. After her strength increased, the phoenix shadow in the void above Zhao Jiqing's head also dissipated, turning into the phoenix divine fire and entering Zhao Jiqing's body. At the same time, the phoenix divine fire that she had released earlier also retracted. However, Zhao Jiqing didn't wake up. She was probably consolidating her strength. After seeing no abnormalities with Zhao Jiqing, Murong Yu returned to his comprehension. Now, he had to fight for this opportunity. If he missed it, he didn't know if he would have another chance to see the divine rule heavenly steel in the future. Time continued to pass. After Zhao Jiqing gained some benefits, one after another, other people gained some benefits. However, there was no one like Zhao Jiqing who directly advanced by a large realm. Time passed, and another 10 years passed. At this time, Zhao Jiqing's strength and realm finally stabilized. Sister Jiqing, congratulations. When she woke up, Yu Mengqing and the others hurriedly congratulated her. A faint smile appeared on Zhao Jiqing's face. I just gained some enlightenment. Everyone should hurry up. I gained some benefit. Don't go back empty-handed. Yes, we'll try our best, Yu Mengqing said with a smile. These were all said through voice transmission. Very quickly, they continued to comprehend. However, a few years had passed. Other than Zhao Jiqing, Murong Yu and the others didn't gain anything. What a tragedy! Are we really not fated with the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet? Murong Yu opened his eyes and said gloomily. All these years, other than Zhao Jiqing, many people had gained benefit. However, it wasn't them. Wait, Mengqing seems to have gained some benefits? Murong Yu's eyes subconsciously swept across Yu Mengqing's body. Murong Yu's face immediately lit up with joy when he saw it. At this time, Yu Mengqing's body was covered by a faint layer of aqua blue light. However, Yu Mengqing didn't seem to notice her own changes. Murong Yu immediately made his move. He used space power to add a few space shields around Yu Mengqing to prevent others from discovering her. They were all together. It was nothing if Zhao Jiqing alone gained benefit. However, if Yu Mengqing also gained benefits, it would definitely make some people jealous. Then, something unexpected might happen. What does the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet contain? Murong Yu looked at the Divine Rule Celestial Tablet and muttered to himself. The entire Divine Rule Celestial Tablet was covered by a hazy white light. Within the hazy white light there were mysterious veins. These veins, each one of them looks like. Murong Yu stared at these veins. For the past few decades, Murong Yu had been looking at these veins. However, he didn't find anything special. That's not right. These veins seem to be a little different from before. Jiqing said before that her breakthrough seemed to have something to do with these veins. Murong Yu suddenly noticed that one of the veins was a little different from the one he had seen before. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.